Discover Houston, 20 seconds to LOS T-Drift.
Roger, nice to be in orbit. Las Vegas, Nevada, Thomas and Mack Center. We are here at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, home of the Mountain West Conference Championship. We are just hours before the women's championship game where Boise State will be playing Nevada to decide who will be the conference champion for the 2017-2018 basketball season. We are here first, though, with the Mountain West Esports Showdown. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bill Jump Carter, and I'm joined with Mohawk Mike and Mr. Seamoose. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. It's another fantastic day here in Las Vegas, another historic day in this Mountain West Esports Showdown.
Yeah, Bill, I'm really excited to be here, casting with Mohawk Mike. This is the first time that I've met Mohawk Mike. Look at that man's mohawk. Look at that man's beard. I am so excited for these games coming up, and we'll be bringing you guys the action then. Boy, and this is in our hometown, too. This is going to be pretty
Your hometown.
Wait.
Your hometown.
Like, no bias, but I'm just saying it's pretty cool to have an event that I can wake up to 30 minutes down the road and then, boom, esports event right
It's
there.
almost like you just show up right as the broadcast starts and you're ready to go, right?
No, Bill, because that'd be unprofessional. I'd never be late like that.
All right. Well, yesterday we had League of Legends and Rocket League being played. It was quite the spectacle. We had a little bit of everything, but it was Boise State that came out of the gates hot, fired, and ready to rock. They finished the League of Legends 2-0 and the Rocket League 8-0. And I mean, we talked about this off broadcast before, Seamus, is Boise State's structure has definitely helped them throughout the way when it comes to everything with their teams.
Yeah, Boise State is a team, as far as the esports collegiate landscape is concerned, is actually relatively new, but the amount of support that they're putting into it with the program, they have their own arena in the school. I mean, it's accelerated the development of all their teams across every game.
Yeah, and one of the quick things I want to note about that is actually Dr. Chris Haskell, who is their coach for the Boise State team. I talked with him a little bit last night. As we were getting ready to leave the venue, he had the Overwatch team set up in their player pods. He says, so long as they are comfortable in person, they're going to play comfortably in game. 90% of what he teaches is communication. The other 10% is game strats and actually in-game play.
And it's fantastic to see the just coagulation of the Boise State roster across the board. Like you can see, yesterday they went 2-0 against UNLV in League of Legends, and then the 8-0 clean sweep for Rocket League. But that doesn't mean that UNLV is out. Obviously, those were exhibition matches yesterday. We've got more exhibition matches today, and that gives UNLV an opportunity to download some information and get things prepared for Saturday. Now, today, it is day 2, and we've got Overwatch on the menu, which I know you guys are very excited for. It's going to be 4 exhibition matches. We'll go over the maps a little bit later. There is no winner. It is a standalone, and it is all in preparation for the best of 5 that's going to crown the winner on Saturday.
Right, so for those of you familiar with the Overwatch League, the format is essentially the same. We're going to be hitting one of each different map type. The only difference is for today, we're only going to be playing the 4 games no matter what. Tomorrow, we're going into the best of 5 series.
Yeah, one of the things I want to make a quick note of is we are here in Las Vegas. This is the entertainment capital of the world, but it is also the fight capital of the world. Talk to any heavyweight champion, boxing, MMA, doesn't matter. They all say the same thing. It takes getting hit into face to realize you are in a fight. So even though the Rocket League and League of Legends UNLV teams performed a little bit differently than they may have anticipated, we're here for Overwatch.
We do.
And these 2 teams are ready to duke it out.
They are indeed. But before we begin, we actually got a chance to talk to some of the players from both UNLV and Boise State. So let's take a listen and see what they had to say.
It's crazy. It's really unreal at this point.
It's really exciting to be here with my team and just be able to represent Boise.
I haven't had a chance to compete on stage before, and this is insane. It's such a good opportunity.
Being part of the Mountain West Esports Showdown is a really big deal because we can see that the scene is really progressing. Having the Mountain West stamp here on our jerseys, I feel really legitimizes the sport.
It's both super exciting and kind of expected. I mean, this is where if you're at the front of something, you want to be.
It's not really about winning, it's just about having a good time and putting on a good show, and that's what's most important to us.
I've always been a big video game player, and I was the kind of person that would finish video game in a day. So once I learned you could make money and compete and play against other good players, I was automatically fell in love with the whole thing as a whole.
Not a lot of people get this opportunity. See, I don't see how esports wouldn't catch men and women's basketball at some point.
I get to say to my grandkids, I was the first UNLV esports team. I was a part of this.
This event is one of the biggest steps towards the future of esports, especially in the collegiate realm. It's cool to be part of a community.
Being able to beat a varsity club is very important to me. The reason being is that they're already established, and we're kind of just a club from the outside.
Not only do I want to beat Boise State, I want to destroy them.
I think it's cute that they think they have the ability to destroy us.
When I heard that Boise had a varsity team, I was like, Boise State? Boise State? Would be good.
They wish.
I just don't want to embarrass them too bad.
Definitely some tension that we saw from that last video. Both Boise State and UNLV kind of throwing some blows before we get into this one.
Bill, I loved how whoever clipped that video, because this is the first time I've personally seen it, clipped it so that the polite players were up front. Oh, I don't care if we win. I just want to have a great time. No, I don't want to beat them. I want to destroy them. Wow.
It definitely shows a level of confidence that I know we're excited to see, but let's get in and talk a little bit more about these rosters. We've got Boise State first. Moose, obviously you've got a lot of experience with the Boise State Overwatch roster. What do you have to say?
I mean, you know them, you love them. I've been watching these guys in the regular season for a couple of months now, and the really important thing is that every week in and a week out that I've seen these guys play, it's the fact that they put in so much work and they're improving at a very fast pace that impresses me the most. Now, with that in mind, up against the team that they're going to be playing, the Run and Reinhardts as they're called, it's going to be a tough matchup because they're a very experienced team.
Now, taking a look at their roster, if you had to pick one player, your standout player, the one that we need to be watching today, which one is that going to be?
Well, I don't know if his headset is on or off right now, but Salad on My Ski is the sink or swim player for the Boise State University squad. No matter what DPS hero he's on, the majority of the time he's being effective, and if he's being effective, they're winning. If he's not being effective, unfortunately for them, they aren't. Perhaps the other person to look out for is Sly Pie, their main tank, and I know she's a crowd favorite of the Boise State fans. So if those two players can show up today, they should be able to take this match.
All right, that's enough about Boise. We've got UNLV next on the mark. Mike, I know that we talked to the coaches a little bit beforehand. What are you looking forward to see from UNLV today?
So I want to point out, first and foremost, Verb is the longest player who has been on the roster of this team. He plays tank. Look out for his Reinhardt. He's going to be in the middle of all of the action, helping dictate and communicate to everybody out there. But I really think the playmaker in this match is going to be GV Khan, a.k.a. their Widow player, the aggressive player. If he's able to land those shots and do a big impact on the Boise State, it's going to completely change them and mix them up as well. And I also want to make a quick note as well. Boise State, again, we chatted with them earlier. They said they're just looking to take one map. This is the exhibition. They want to get as much information as they can on UNLV going into that best of 5 for tomorrow.
Well, I'm not too sure if they're just want to take one map, because I think it was pretty obvious they want to have a little domination.
Well,
right?
Mike, it's funny that you mentioned GV Khan, because GV Khan was the person in the promo video who said, "I want to destroy them. I want to obliterate them." So. Yeah. I mean, we've got two teams with very strong DPS players. I'm super excited to see how they're going to match up.
Now, we are going to be playing 4 maps today. It's going to be Lijiang, Kings Row, Voskaya, and then Route 66. Moose, I have to ask you, our first map is going to be Lijiang Tower. What do we have to look forward to with this map?
So control map modes like Lijiang Tower is going to be an absolute brawl. The fact that the point, obviously the objective that you want to take, but you're just so close to each other. It's a symmetrical map. You're just going to see people going at it, just continuously fighting each other. And I'm curious to see whether or not these teams have any particularly niche strategies, because we are in the most recent patch where there have recently been some Sombra reworks and a couple of changes, very slight buffs to Mei and Doomfist. I actually know if we go to a particular map that we're not going to today, we may see a Mei from one of these teams. But for now, Lijiang Tower, it's probably just going to be a standard old slugfest.
It's going to be quite the brawl. I think that, especially today with Exhibition, I think it's an opportunity for you to kind of take the gloves off and get a little dirty, play around with some different compositions and have that. Mike, what are you looking for compositions with the current patch?
One of the things that we talked about actually outside of the game yesterday is actually just the whole meta that's shaped around Mercy. But now that we're in Season 9, how everything has kind of changed a little bit.
Right.
So having that, having that the resurrection that you can always basically rely on, or having to actually, play a heavy roaming tracer or something like that to actually try and counter that Mercy. I want to see a lot of tank action in the middle of the action. I don't want to see any of these floating kind of characters out there. I want to see heavy hitting in your face, just grind it out into the control point.
Well, we're not going to keep you guys waiting any longer. I'm going to throw it to Moose, and we're going to get right into the game. Game number 1, Boise State, UNLV.
Thank you very much, Bill, and hello, Las Vegas. We are into the action on the night market section of Lijiang Tower. You can see why here for Boise State University on the Genji. The dive into Winston doing a lot of damage. Phantom with the first frag so far. The red team's health bar still staying alive somehow. Boise State looking to continue on, and this is a very aggressive but successful fight so far.
Yeah, one of the interesting things to note here is that the control point was actually just off to the left-hand side of there. Both of these players, or both teams I should say, actually aggressively went in, and we see this Anna here is just trying to kind of get a little bit of control back. You see Boise State is going to back up just a little bit, and now these teams are going to regroup. What an intense way to start out that map.
Yeah, and one interesting difference between these two teams too, their compositions are nearly identical. The only real difference is Zenyatta doing a little bit more damage versus Anna with the healing in the combo. Duck Hunt finding the frag. The re-engage though is good so far. Let's see whether or not UNLV can continue to push this.
Yeah, look again, we're out in the middle of the court. We see that red has control, so Boise State is in control of that control point, but most of the action is taking place outside. But here we go, Caster's Curse. We have UNLV is pushing in, they're trying to take this control point. And Diva here is going to just try and recapture and get her suit back, and we're set up. Here we are.
Yeah, the first fight went well for Boise State, but the fact that UNLV were able to answer so quickly is quite impressive, and now they have the ultimate economy. Look for GV Con with the pulse bomb. You could maybe go for the stick. You might have Lucky coming in with the Dragon Blade as well. They have all the options to work with.
Yeah, and I really love seeing Boise State. You can see them. So in the game, we can actually see their silhouettes. The players cannot, but we can see Boise State was regrouping before they came in for this big push. We see this Tracer is just trying to hunt down this Diva here. Diva's going to pop out, and
goodbye.
Yeah. Say hi to Darth Maul down there at the bottom of that bottomless pit for me.
And what a fantastic three-man Dragon Blade. You saw the combo play with the nano boost onto the Dragon Blade. Nearly impossible to defend, and Boise State weren't even able to build up their ultimates and commit those. That being said, technically they have the advantage so far in this coming fight, but the thing is, they're already down in time. Here comes the engage. The pulse bomb is going to stick onto the support. That is a great elim early on in this fight, and you can see the damage coming through. The sound barrier is still committed. Boise State are trying to fight this, but they are already down. Dragon Blade from Y in the backside. The Duck Hunt, the Diva Bomb, it did not hit enough. And it looks like they still will be able to win this. GV Con and Lucky are just coming up huge for UNLV.
Yeah, one of the important things there is UNLV, they actually had most of their ults were up. They decided in the middle of that fight to pop them and use them. We can see now Boise State is going to have to regroup. We see Overcase has actually their ult as well, but look at all the players on UNLV that are on fire right now. They're just locking in at this doorway, and we see another engagement.
This could be the last fight. Duck Hunt taken out of the mech. That's going to be a good start for now for Boise. Let's see if they can continue this. Slive High still alive. Why getting that frag there, and the elims so far are coming up Boise, which is great because they need to flip the point now, Mike. There's only a little bit of time remaining. GV Con still able to find Y, and the remake for Duck Hunt. They can still contest this, and here we go. Back onto the point. All uppercase. Finding Skin. Lucky with the Dragon Blade. Can Duck Hunt build his self-destruct in time to win this for his team? I don't think he's even going to need it, Mike, as it looks like once again Boise State take it down. UNLV will strike first blood.
Yeah, and again, that map was very highly contested at the start there. All of those team fights back and forth. UNLV just set up and did everything they needed to do towards the middle of that round. I think was the most important there. That team fight where they had 3 of their ults, they decided to use all of them. You're in Vegas, you might as well go all in. And if it pays off for you, it pays off big. And we see them take the first round there.
And what impresses me the most, specifically on these control map modes, it's very difficult to actually come back after the losing fight. You saw Boise State, you know, they came out of the gate swinging. They were able to capture the point first, but then UNLV took back control and didn't give it up for a moment. Very impressive play.
Yeah, I'm very eager here to see how these teams, as we're getting ready to rotate into the next round here, if they're going to have the same mentality. Boise State seems like they just need to regroup a little bit. It's good to actually have this breather here as we're going into this next round. And we're going to jump on board here with Tracer.
All right, Salad on my ski so far hasn't been incredibly impactful on the series. That's one of the keys to the game that we mentioned in the pregame. He needs to be impactful for his team to make this happen. Slive High finding her opposite, Winston and Bird, but the trades are good for the run in Reinhardt. Still, it's a messy fight all over the point right now as DV Con Soldier is left uncontested, taken low, but heals through. The supports right now keeping their DPS alive for as long as possible, but he will be taken out. 2 kills so far for Salad on my ski, but he was taken out in retribution, which means that the point will be taken by UNLV.
Yeah, an interesting thing to point there is we can see an overview of the map now. The map is symmetrical. That means it's equal on both sides. Boise State pushed really hard on the UNLV's bridge to instigate that fight, and I think because of that, they it's almost like drawing a player off sides. When you are that deep into the field and the other team gets the advantage, then there's no coming back.
Man, those kills started down in favor of UNLV, but Saladon Mesquite is putting in work right now, clocking overtime, and he is getting paid for it. He's gotten 4 kills so far in this kill streak, and they should be able to clean this up. Only one alive, and Duck Hunt is defenseless in the Baby Diva form. And just as quickly as Boise State lost control in the first map of this game, they were able to quickly take it away now from the runner Reinhardt. It's going to be building up a lot of ultimates coming into this next one.
Yeah, I like how UNLV here, they're opting to take that roundabout way into the control point. They're not going through bridge. They kind of want to shake it up a little bit. Now things are getting a lot more hectic because you're much more close quarters. And we see there, here comes the big push.
Tactical visor, but the Anonade actually, the grenade made it so you couldn't heal through the Transcendence. Otherwise, that would have been a great play from 11. A lot of kills so far, but the Sound Barrier will be committed by Boise State, so they're still trying to make this happen, but I don't think it's going to. It's going to be Salad and Phantom still alive. Salad is taken down. Phantom's going to try and delay UNLV, man.
Yeah, and GB Khan, as I noted before, he's one of the players to look out for. Normally an aggressive Widow player, but you could see there, he knew the control point. This is very important. He's going to rush in. You're basically throwing yourself into a mosh pit. He decided to change over Soldier 76, and you see him put in work there as the entire team worked together to clear out that point.
Yeah, and so many resources were committed by both teams now. There's going to be a bit of a lull in the action. You still have Dragon Blade on Y and then Skin looking to try and counter that with the Sound Barrier, the aggression in. Y is going to come in with a drop. Can he get the damage down? Sound Barrier to answer. It is really good, though. GB Khan completely okay, and they will trade so far, but this is the defensive advantage in favor of UNLV.
Yeah, and note there, too, that GB Khan, he had a bunch of players there on the control point, but he actually went for that Zenyatta. He knows that there's support. You take out the support, you're going to be set up.
Mike, didn't work out, though.
Yeah, it didn't work out, but that's what I was saying, is that it's interesting to look at these players' viewpoints. You know, just because you see characters on the screen or characters in front of you, a lot of times you have to focus a certain player. And again, if you're going to go in, you need to go all in. He was sitting in the back. He was kind of trying to protect the control point, decided to step out, but got caught in the May end.
And what looked like a good play strategically did not work out in favor of UNLV. Now they're forced to back away. Salad already found the pulse bomb frag, making it a 5v6, and then attacking Reinhardt's right now, just understanding that, you know, the running Reinhardt's got to run away just for a little bit to come back into this and try again. They're going to have the very crucial nano boost now. They can use it either on Soldier's Tactical Visor or Dragon Blade. It's a lot of options.
Yeah, I was going to mention that as Duck Hunt 101, you can see him, or sorry, Drummers is sitting on that Ana player that has that sleep that he can take out one of the players potentially. Also has the nano boost, so we see it get popped here. Tracer's going to try and go here, do a little bit of work, but we see a Winston jumping in as well. This is just absolute insane.
Yeah, a great Transcendence from 11, and they should be able to clean this up, no problem. Now, only a little bit of time remaining, so it's looking like we may go to a third map here. I'm not even sure if Drummers or anyone else can contest from the UNLV side.
Yeah, and we see the control point here, 96, 97% for Boise State, 71%. UNLV has to make a big push, and they have to get the control point now.
Yeah, if they want to win this, they have to win this fight here. Sound Barrier already, Salad on my speed. Or no, he's not able to get the Diva. Y is close to Dragon Blade, though, and lucky with the two-man. The nade there from Drummers, and all of a sudden it looked like a fight that was impossible for Boise to lose, but UNLV at the last moment were able to come in and push this through, and they're going to have a couple of ultimates to work with, but thankfully for Boise, man, they're still going to have a little bit of time to try and recontest this.
That was the equivalent of a last-second three-pointer there. As soon as that ult came up, took that player out, they were able to regroup, and now we're sitting here. You see, 99%. Boise State literally just needs to clear the control and just touch for just less than a second.
The last time we saw this, though, Boise State with the Dragon Blade, they were able to make a play off it and win the fight. GB Khan look on the backside, all uppercase already fighting one, but the support is down, and that is both supports down. That's a huge pickup. Y is trying to do what he can with the Dragon Blade. It may not be enough, but he's still lighting up the kill feed red. Diva is taken low. Duck Hunt does have the self-destruct. GB Khan, meanwhile, finding Y. Oh, she's able to remake. The pulse bomb will not get the D-mech now. So it's a 2v2. Tracer versus Diva. Diva versus Tracer for both sides, but Duck Hunt with the self-destruct picks up the kill. GB Khan now very, very low, but the supports have come back for UNLV. And Lucky with the Dragon Blade looking to clean it up and put the finishing touches on this first map here.
Yeah, that was an amazing standpoint there as they contested the battle point. And then you see there is you saw Winston come in, instantly pop, and then from there they just took it over.
And you can hear the UNLV fans popping off, cheering on their team. That's going to be the first map in this 4-map set taken by UNLV. And, you know, that first map was very, very dominant. The second one, a little bit closer, but they were still able to clutch it out.
Yeah, one of the things we mentioned previously is that this is an exhibition. So for these teams to get really acquainted with each other. So going in between round and round, it's okay to change up your strategy, change up your team composite, and then actually try and test out something new. Because, again, we have 4 matches today, and then these teams are also playing tomorrow. So it's okay to be a little experimental and try something out, especially, as we mentioned, this is Season 9. We have our newest buffs and nerfs, and so might as well test out everything now while you get all the cobwebs out and get your team solid.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit surprisingly, no Songbrook just yet. But Mike, if we were to look back in that match in Lijiang Tower, what would you say was the X factor that gave UNLV the advantage?
I think the thing for me, UNLV, it just seems like their communication is just on point. I mentioned before, you know, Boise State, one of the things they really emphasize is communication, but we could actually see UNLV, as you can see the silhouettes on the screen, you can see where the players are. They're grouping together before they make their big pushes. Boise State is doing the same thing, but they still kind of have a little bit of roaming. It seems like they're just kind of, as soon as they go in to make the push, there's just a little bit of split, and they're all focusing different things. So UNLV, you know, this is their hometown. I'm sure they practiced all week. I'm sure they practiced last night. They're comfortable in the setting, and it's showing off right now.
Yeah, that's one thing I actually spoke to the players a little bit about before the match, and I asked them, have you guys been practicing? Because we know Boise State University has been playing weekly in their own regular season, in-house season against some of the top teams in the country. And I wasn't actually expecting UNLV to have that much practice, but they say that we've been practicing a ton, which really surprised me, has definitely shown up so far.
Yeah, one of the things that I want to note is that Julian Lugard, who is actually the coach for this Overwatch team, on unlv.edu, they did a whole feature of interviews with a bunch of the organizers from 8-Bit Esports, the UNLV club here. And one of the things he mentioned is, like, we're confident going into the match, but we don't want to leave anything up to chance. We've prepped, we've done our research, and we know exactly what we have to do going into it. And it shows so far on map 1.
Yeah, and when you talk about the pedigree that the UNLV squad has had, this is a team that's played at the TESPA Collegiate Series, the premier collegiate Overwatch tournament, and went 6-4. So very, very strong record. I mean, we saw them, last time I saw them personally on stream was back in November when they took out UNR, University of Nevada, Reno. And really, this is a team that's had such a consistent high point in terms of playing in a lot of tournaments such as these. And this might be the first time they're on a big stage like this, but this is not the first time that they're on stream, and they're not really looking nervous as a result.
Yeah, well, not just that too, but one of the facts as well is that UNLV 8-Bit Esports, their collegiate esports club, is actually one of the largest, it has the largest student organization here on campus. So they have a bigger player pool. They have a bigger resource as far as people they can pull onto their teams. Boise State, even though they are a little bit newer of a team and they are grinding out these matches, they're trying to get up to stuff, maybe they just have to pull more players in and get attracted and find a better composition, because anybody could come in and just completely shake up the way this team plays. But here we go. We're getting into Match 2. This is Kings Road. This is the Assault game type, and we see the Junkrat coming out. You want to see some three-pointers, this is the guy to stay with.
Junkrat essentially synonymous with Kings Row for the past few months. Certainly one of the stronger heroes. He can be a little bit inconsistent and wonky, but he builds up his ultimate so quickly, and when that Riptire is pulled, better look out. So we'll take a look now. It looks like a quad tank composition from the offense here, and quad tank is really strong attacking the first point of Kings Row, but the difficulty is it does not have a good matchup against Junkrat.
Yeah, an interesting thing to note here too is that Boise State, you can see 11 has changed over to Moira.
What a hook. That was fantastic, and Soldier will eventually go down, instantly starting the fight with the power play in favor of Boise State. That's also one of the DPS down, but Lucky is still alive already. 79% on his Riptire. He's nearly got it available, Mike, and if he has it, he can get so much AoE damage. Look at that, they're not contesting the Junkrat. There's no way to take him out. As soon as I say that, Y gets the frag, and this means that now one tick already taken by Boise State. They're trying to snowball this. The huge Earth Shatter played, though, for becoming a big first team, but is the damage follow-up there?
Yeah, I really like that composition by UNLV. You can see the Reinhardt, the Zarya was sitting there. Junkrat could just sit in behind and just launch out shots. He could basically hit anybody he wanted to as everybody was munched and massed there together. And then we see the Roadhog here, like you mentioned before. Those hooks are big and could actually play into a lot of the defense here, or sorry, the offense here, because you want to pull out, you want to single that target. Which player is giving you the most trouble?
You know, I think we should rename why to how, because I have no idea how he's been hitting all these hooks, man. Whenever I play Roadhog, I feel like I only hit a quarter of what this guy's throwing out.
Yeah, it feels like the hitbox is way smaller when you're playing at home versus watching.
Ooh, this is going to be a big combo. The Graviton Surge, the Riptire. Is it good? It looks good, folks, and they will be able to win the fight cleanly off that. Demaking the defense, then going for the Zarya, making sure she cannot retain that high energy. Nice, solid recontest, and it looks like they are going to be setting up here. Boise State, no, they lost the first point pretty quickly. No, excuse me. UNLV lost the first one pretty quickly, but they just as quickly replied, and now they have control of streets.
Yeah, and GVCon, we can see once again, he's being the aggressor. He was trying to step out there a little bit, but knows that you want to stay with the payload, stay with the rest of your team, because here in this archway, this is where the fight is going to go down.
Grab, you see the Tactical Visor combo. It's a really good barrier to keep them alive. You see the Tactical Visor taking out Sly Pie. GVCon with 2 so far. Can he get the 3-piece? Winner, winner, chicken dinner. You see the Fire Strike going wide, but GVCon gets the 3rd one. Nicely done here, and it's going to be the team fight once again for the run-in Reinhardt as UNLV. It is simply a matter of cleaning this up, and even though it was the Graviton from Salad to start it all off, a fantastic sound barrier to answer it, and then the Nano Tactical Visor wins UNLV the team fight.
Yeah, and GVCon, once again, you can see setting up in this archway. He wants to try and poke out just a little bit at UNLV. He's also getting comms for his team. He can see where the team is coming in, but here comes that hook.
The barrier from Zarya not enough to keep Soldier alive, but a 3-man! Are you feeling lucky, Punk? Are you? Because Lucky coming in with the 3-man Riptire there, absolutely obliterating Boise State University's offense, and they had 2 elims early on in that fight. It looked like it was done and dusted, but that's the power of the Junkrat pick, man.
Yeah, GVCon, again being the aggressor there, he's kind of leading the fight, but all of the members of UNLV were actually on fire at the end of that fight, except for GVCon, because he got pulled in by that hook and then taken out. So now we see the payload is pushing. GVCon's going to rotate behind here. He's going to try and target a little bit. Where's UNLV? Where's the rest of his team?
I'm not sure. This is a bit of a risky play. Did not work out. Verb's still coming up big for his team right now. We'll see if he can snowball that and continue this advantage. That was a bit of a interesting play there. It seemed to work out well for UNLV, though. And you know, one thing I want to mention, Mike, is the fact that Y was one of the only reasons for the success so far in Boise State University's offense. Those Roadhog hooks have enabled nearly all of their successful team fights, and now they've swapped them off.
Yeah, maybe they're just feeling like they need a little more damage output. You know, pulling that hook and getting the team to focus on a single character is a great mechanic, but at the same time, Roadhog has to have line of sight. He has to be out there and in the middle of that action. Here comes a Riptire.
We've seen this movie before, and it never ends well. Yeah, this is going to be a one-man, but Phantom FW, the healer, out of the way. Here comes the Tactical Visor boost again. Here's GV. Diva trying to defense matrix it all away, but she just has no chance at all. And that's going to be a simple and a clean one-team fight by Las Vegas now. It was nearly 5 minutes and then some for Boise State to push through the streets phase and try to make it to the next checkpoint. But so far, 3 minutes have already passed, Mike, and this has been continued successful defending by UNLV.
While that's so, the push cart has been moving a little bit by little bit. I think that just need a little bit more communication, a little more setup here. And GVCon, one of the things that was interesting, after that Tactical Visor, he ran all the way back up, almost to the front of the map. He ran up to that first control point and then pulled himself back.
Really big Graviton Surge, and you see the combo there, nicely done by Boise State. Oh, why? Picking up GVCon at the end there. That's a very beautifully executed combo. Salad on my ski. You're going to throw out that Zarya Graviton, and then 11, no matter what happens, you cannot defend against a Coalescence. It rips through barriers. So Boise State are finally able to push the payload. You know, they weren't winning a definitive team fight, but they pushed inch by inch, and they were able to get it. 90 seconds adds at the clock now. They got a little bit over 2 minutes to try and end King's Row here.
Yeah, and we'll see here they're pushing into this final control point. You see, there it is. The payload is moving, but here comes that Riptire once again. Is he gonna? Oh, he kind of stalled out on the wall there.
Oh, no! GV Khan, Riptire taken out on both sides, but GV Khan's was so sick. You can hear the Earth Shatter going down. Slide by taking out Duckon means the tank line for. Oh my goodness, for UNLV is popping off. That's what it means. You saw the counter Earth Shatter out from Verb, and they are going to cleanly win off of that. The aggression started. Slidepie had that first Earth Shatter, and it was Boise who wanted to set the pace of the fight, but then the counterplay from Verb's Earth Shatter was huge.
Yeah, I want to take a step back and actually note that Riptire that kind of started off that offensive push there. It seemed like there was a little bit of hesitation. You saw the tire started to climb up the wall, jumped off, and then decided to go through the corridor, and that's when it was spotted and actually shot down before it could do any damage.
We'll see now GV Khan on the Kerrigan Widowmaker. It's a high ground positioning, and there aren't that many heroes that can actually contest him. Diva really the only big threat to a Widowmaker, and if he's landing those headshots, he'll be doing a lot of damage. That being said, though, not landing too many and taking a little bit of poke, so he's forced to reposition. Yeah,
and there's that Diva coming up to push like you mentioned before. Just wanted to kind of push GV Khan a little bit back. GV Khan having a little bit of an issue just landing shots here. You can see the Reinhardts are kind of dueling battle there. And here comes Boise State pushing. Oh, Diva in your face.
Ooh, he makes it out alive, gets to the small health back. So he doesn't really have high ground positioning anymore. Does have that Widowmaker ultimate, but it doesn't actually provide any damage, simply utility. They're gonna pull that out, so they have wall hacks now, but look at the charge on Salad on my ski. He's got the grab set up. Here comes a self-destruct, actually a whiff, not intentional, but look at that, the Graviton is out. The Transcendence to answer, can a GV Khan find any headshots here?
Yeah, there we go. And as we mentioned it, this could be the big push that he needs to see. He's targeting it on Zarya. There we go.
Wow.
Down as well. Take out this Diva, and you have nothing to really contest against you up on this high point. And there goes Diva.
Well, there you have it, folks. You just got to ask the man for headshots, and he delivers on cue. Thank you very much, GV Khan. And that was so important, too, because it was the aggression. Again, it was actually the Salad on my ski Graviton, ultimate out from Zarya, that started off the team fight. But even when we see Boise State go aggressive first, the defensive play is so clean here from UNLV. Now the last fight here, GV Khan still looking for the headshots, gets it onto Zarya. We have the Riptire as well, taking out Slidepie. So the main tanks are down. Mana boost as well. This is going to be such a tough fight for UNLV. GV Khan looking to just end it here cleanly. Baby Diva just trying to guide for as long as she possibly can. She's a skinny hitbox, so it's not easy to land those shots, but they are still facing a massive deficit on the point here. Lucio, the last hero remaining, and he will be taken out. So 10-player kill streak so far for GV Khan. It looks like there will be contesting from Boise State, but it's not going to last, folks. Kings Row offense, the first half. Pretty overall decent offense, but an even better defense as they're able to hold them right outside the third checkpoint.
You know, it's interesting because I think back to my youth when I used to play games, and you know, one of my favorite movies when I was a kid growing up was the movie Happy Gilmore with Adam Sandler, when he's learning how to play golf and he realizes, oh, if I get a hole-in-one, that makes this game so much easier. That's kind of what happened there with GV Khan. Oh, if I land headshots, then it makes the game so much easier.
For anyone watching back at home who wants to get into Overwatch, there you have your pro tip. You want to get better at the game, land more headshots. That's exactly what was happening, though. And Boise State, you know, you can see them on the screen there. Between the first map, they were still all smiles. They're looking a little bit more somber now. You have the coach, Dr. Haskell, coming in the side now, offering them some tips.
Yeah, and he's got the classic strat there. He's got the actual like playbook in front of him. He's kind of calling out to them, but he's also covering his mouth.
Yeah, I like how he covered his mouth, like just in case, like so no one knows.
So no one knows. We're all going Reinhardt next round. Just don't tell it. It's exhibition.
Unfortunately, you can't do that anymore. But you're right. We might see some crazy stuff. So Lijiang Tower. I mean, both of these maps had moments where it was Boise State coming up big, and it looks kind of close. But how do they come back here?
I think, well, first off, you got to have an efficient Junkrat. So I think that was part of the key there. And there we go. There is Y on that Junkrat. And we'll see these teams are going to get set up. It's going to be interesting to see here how this first control point pulls out. I feel like Boise State, having just played against UNLV, saw their tactic, especially with the archway right after this control point. They know that that's a highly contested spot. UNLV might play a little sneaky, and might go around the roundabout, the up play.
And the difference is, too, it was a quadra tank composition for the Boise State offense. Here, we don't see that at all. We see double snipers. So the snipers are not going to be contested in any fashion by any of the heroes, literally any of the heroes from Boise State.
Yeah, and we can see Lucky is actually playing on that Hanzo, shot out that arrow so he could actually get the intel on the team comp from Boise State. It's very crucial here, and you can see here he is just kind of standing in the back, just landing the shots. Again, though, it's just free damage. Hit whoever you got to hit.
Needs to be careful, though. Does not want to get hooked. Thankfully, his tank was able to take that for him. So far, all uppercase not able to convert. 11 take alone. There's going to be the headshot from Lucky. This man in Vegas is popping off, and he gets another one. Looking for more, but they may not even need it. Scatter arrow will go wide. Dragon Strike nearly available. Lucky is just uncontested still. Zarya very charged, however. Verb with the charge, and then it's going to be Lucky finding that. Oh my goodness, the fourth frag, putting on the finishing touches of a very quick offense, and that's the threat you have. Hanzo, Widowmaker, if you can't contest either of them, it's only a matter of time before they take you out.
Yeah, the utility you get with Hanzo is just almost second to none. You actually have that. You have the predictive arrow. You can see where players are around. You can actually wall climb. You have that ability to land those headshots like that. And I like the fact, too, that he actually just played on the ground close to his team, striping left and right and hitting those shots when needed.
And what's really frightening now is that they have the Dragon Strike available. There's the Earth Shadow, the follow-up. It's going to be huge. Verb is popping off from this Reinhardt. It's probably the fourth or fifth four-man shatter we've seen so far. And yes, we did see Lucky go down, but now Tracer all alone. Salad taken out by the Nano Nade.
Yeah, Lucky, I was highly anticipating he was going to pop his ult there. Everybody was down that alleyway, but instead he just decided to, kind of roll back and do some damage. The rest of his team was there.
That's such incredible insight, though, because he understood that he could play conservatively with the ults as there wasn't a need. He didn't even pop it out of fear of his own life or whatever. And now Duckhunt can combo that with a Graviton still.
Yeah, we see GV Khan has switched over. He's back on Widowmaker here, but Winston is going to come in. They know this game. This is what happened at the end of the round. We got to get in your face. We got to push you.
Yeah, the swap to dive comp, but it may be a little bit too late. Duckhunt commits his ultimate, and there GV Khan taken out. Why? And this is just all in favor of UNLV here, as they are going to be barely down the point. 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining to finish King's Row. They didn't even need to push it all the way to the end, Mike. This is looking good for the run-in Reinhardt to the hometown team.
Yeah, and we'll see here that GV Khan has set up to the top here. He's going to try and play a little sneaky. He's going to try and land a few shots, but again, there's communication there. They know he's up there. Here comes Winston. Here comes Diva. And he's going to get out of town.
He makes it out alive. He keeps going so aggressively, but the dive is not well executed. Lucky picking up unlucky number 11 here. This is potentially the last fight. UNLV might be able to win this right here. Lucky finding another one. Takes a lot of damage, but he eliminates Sly Pie, and all uppercase gets Drummers, but it's not going to be enough. As now is simply 1 hero remaining, and that golden box of victory is so close. Oh, Phantom not even able to get that sound bear off. And ladies and gentlemen, UNLV will be up 2-0 in this series.
Yeah, UNLV there just played really, really strong. And, the thing with the end of that map there is it just seemed like, Boise was trying to regroup. They had some character swaps. And then, again, this is exhibition. They're experimenting. They're trying out different things. But when you have aggressive players like Lucky, like GV Verb, that are just landing the shots when absolutely necessary, it's hard to come back from that.
Yeah, and so far it's a 4-map series, so definitely the potential for Boise State to come back. But in terms of composition, in terms of execution, definitely looking like UNLV are on the better page right now. And guys, you are at the Mountain West Conference here, the Esports Showdown. We got to talk a little bit earlier as Bill caught up with Carolyn Henry to ask her about the event.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bill Jump Carter, and I'm joined here with Caroline Henry, the Senior Associate Commissioner for the Mountain West. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We are here at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, Thomas and Mack Center for a multitude of things. You've got the NCAA Men's and Women's Championship for the Mountain West Conference the entirety of this week, as well as the Mountain West Esports Showdown. Now, this came across your desk, a little while ago, and we've talked a little bit beforehand. Esports wasn't something you were super knowledgeable about. What has the experience been like since picking up this project?
So the experience has been great, and as you mentioned, it got kind of put on my desk. We were at a meeting in December. Our board of directors said, you know what, we want to try an exhibition. We think this will be great. Our students really love it and participate in it. Why don't we try to blend the two?
Now, blending the two has been fantastic. We're literally a basketball pass away from the court itself. What has it been like wedding the two events together, the championship as well as the showdown that's happening this weekend?
You know, it's been fairly easy. We already have a championship format set up, and so we used a lot of the things that we do on our championship for men's and women's basketball for our e-sport competition. Having the location where it is made it a lot easier. We have a lot of our basketball fans coming in, asking questions, and we're trying to educate them on what we're doing here and why this is so exciting.
The excitement of bringing esports to any sort of LAN event, anytime you can bring it to a physical location, especially at something as prestigious as this, has always been fantastic throughout the history of esports. What do you think has been the biggest surprise throughout, whether it be organizing this event or seeing the reactions from the fans that are coming in, or just the event as a whole?
I don't know if it was as much of a surprise as it was somewhat challenging just trying to navigate this landscape. It's a lot different than intercollegiate athletics, but at the end of the day, it is an event. And so at the end of the day, we actually ended up being about at the same place we are with basketball.
Now, you did say you took a trip over to the Fiesta Bowl and checked out the TESPA Collegiate Series Overwatch Finals. Figuring out and learning more about esports the way that you have, what has been one of the more enjoyable experiences, or just something that you've learned to appreciate in seeing the new gaming side of things?
So one of the things that's, I don't know, it's fascinating to me and it's really fun is the fan involvement. Whether they're watching from afar, whether they're in an arena and venue, it's just the excitement that the fans exhibited. That was amazing. It was an amazing atmosphere at the Overwatch Championships.
Now, this weekend, we've got Boise State and UNLV playing against each other over the next 3 days for this event. School involvement with Mountain West is extremely important. Obviously, when you have that participation, when you have, all of your teams on board, what has it been like working with Boise State and UNLV to get this set up?
It's been great. Boise State and UNLV, they've educated me on esports and helped me along the way. But I think they've also educated our administrators, our board of directors. This is the future, and we really are excited about it.
Well, thank you so much, Caroline, for coming and hanging out with us. That's going to do it here. Don't forget to check out the Mountain West Conference as well as the Mountain West Esports Showdown while you're here at UNLV. Thanks. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
As we finish the first leg and come up to the second leg here for our Overwatch exhibition, it is safe to say that UNLV has decided to step up and play coming here for day 2 on Friday. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, hello, hello. Let's talk about that first half for a second before we get into things. I think it is, like we said, safe to say UNLV came out of the gates hot, and it was pretty apparent there at Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, Lijiang Tower, I want to make a note again. These are exhibition matches. Both of these players, that was their first team match. That was the first match of the day. These are kind of more like warm-ups. I don't want to read into this too much, into the rest of these rounds, but then also the matches going into tomorrow.
They definitely came out to play. They came out to show everybody what they were doing. And what I really want to talk about is just the fact that UNLV was able to weather the storm. You take a look at the way that Boise State controlled the maps early, was great, but then it rolled in. They were able to take control, hold on to it, and keep things strong. Agreed, Seamus?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the big point for me, not so much Lijiang Tower, but he was still very impactful. Lucky Psycho. Yeah. This is where, I mean, we're looking at these replays, right? 75% of those replays were Lucky Psycho replays.
Oh, yeah.
And he's new to the team. We've never seen him. I haven't personally broadcast him before. I was expecting GV Khan, Saladon Meski. We talked about these players in the pregame as being like the go-to guys, but no, there's a new player in town, and he just absolutely popped off.
Proof that anyone can step up. But we have the second set coming up very shortly. We've got Volskaya Industries and Route 66. Talk to me about the second half in these maps.
So these maps are going to play out very differently from Lijiang and Kings Row. Volskaya Industries, specifically those 2CP, aka the assault map types, you have the 2 points that you need to capture, and then you get 4 minutes per point. So it can actually be kind of snowbally depending on whether one team barrels past the first point, has struggles with taking the second point, etc. And then around 66, it's going to be a pure escort map, which is quite similar to Kings Row. Only difference is you don't actually need to unlock that first checkpoint.
The thing I want to note, too, about Route 66 is that it's actually more of a wide-open map. So far, the maps that we've seen have been more of a condensed.
It's true.
It's close quarters. They're fighting fighting each other. You know, GV Con on Widowmaker escaping out of like close. Literally, when you've got D.Va in your face and then you grab a hook out and then you're just literally in another part of the map, that's insane. But Route 66, it's open. There's very little ceiling in the first part of that map. I'd love to see the angles these players are going to take and the route that they're going to choose to push that payload.
You got to wonder if that favors UNLV as well. Because in these close quarters maps, they've been running snipers. That's a surprising pick, and it's worked out for them. If they have more room to work with, what exactly can the Boise State squad do? And
you talked a lot about how compositions are changing. You're on the Season 9 patch. You've got the Mercy is gone. Everything else, you saw the Quadra tank coming out on that second map. And what are you expecting as far as composition coming for this map 3 on Volskaya?
I think unless we see the DPS shut down, that UNLV is continuing to run what's worked for them. And we are into Volskaya Industries already, folks, back into the action here. And it is going to be the defense from University of Nevada, Las Vegas. And they've got a similar composition to what they had on Kings Row. The only difference is now Verb is going to be on the Orisa instead. Yeah, Verb mentioned previously, he is the longest player on this UNLV team, and he is the one who is going to be the shot caller and kind of landed defensively. But here we see Lucky is going to get back in. This Junkrat is insane. Look at him getting vertical. Oh no, the trigger and the heals, and we've seen this story before, folks. Even if UNLV lose a member, Lucky Shaiko on this Junkrat cannot be left untouched. Y is still trying to make stuff happen here for Boise State. He's 50% to that Dragon Blade, but they're probably just going to have to get out of this and reset. While UNLV are playing very well, Lucky on that Junkrat keeps targeting the D.Va. And what happens, D.Va, her suit gets popped, she gets out, and then they're having a little bit of an issue just cleaning up. I'm not sure if it's just a communication there or if there's other targets that the team are on, but it seems like D.Va, as far as Lucky goes, he's landing shots, he's doing amazing, but cleaning up D.Va specifically seems to be a little bit of an issue. Well, we'll see if that comes back to haunt them at all. So far, they've been able to hold firm. Lucky a little bit over halfway to that ultimate. And Drummers nearly with the nano boost might give that either to Lucky or GV Con. The rotation left here, but the hook already landing. D.Va sent into the sky, takes a lot of damage, but they did make it to the point. Still, health bars low right now. If the supports can sustain them all, this could be good here for Boise State, but here comes the boosted up Junkrat. Nice dodge away from the Tracer to get out of that one shot mine, but still Lucky and GV Con are doing so much damage and have not been taken out. That makes it a nearly impossible fight for Boise State to win, as Skin will pick up 11, and now the D.Va and the Winston, the last two heroes alive. They're just going to let him jump off here. You want to stagger D.Va as long as possible, and that's another successful defense, Mike. Yeah, I mentioned it, you know, Lucky and the whole composition there with that D.Va and being able to clean up. But what happens there? But they literally hold, it's almost like Red Rover. They all circle around that D.Va and then end up just popping her and targeting her and getting her ready. So now Boise State, they've done a really good job of teaming up and getting here to this entry point. They're using that truck there, as you can see, as cover. They keep rotating around. I don't know if they should just maybe alternate their routes or if they're just waiting for a certain player to get off. Oh, no. Lucky Psycho. How many rib tires have we seen be effective from him? I mean, it's funny because the more you see it, initially you're like, oh, and now he's like, oh, man, this is brutal. Yeah, every time you hear the rip tire come out, it automatically sends chills down your spine, but especially when it's Lucky controlling it, you know there's nothing that can come good from it if you're on the opposing team. And now 3 minutes have nearly passed already. This could potentially be Boise State University's last fight, and you see the second point on Volskaya Industries being difficult to contest for the offense, but this is still the first point. Yeah, I mentioned there during kind of the halftime that, oh no. That's a big pulse bomb. Hold on now. Saudameski is trying to change the narrative here. Has to get away though with the recall and the blink. 84 HP right now, but the D.Va self-destruct will find the Ana. Is that going to be the way for them to get into this? It may not be, as GV Con comes back with attack visor, the sound barrier to keep him alive, and he gets both DPS here. Those are going to be huge picks, as it looks like once again the defense will hold firm. Yeah, the thing that I mentioned there kind of during the halftime there is that Route 66 is a more open map. We're actually seeing that here on Volskaya on this first control point 11. As well. Hold on, 11. Oh, no. Committing her ultimates here. I'm not sure if that Transcendence was good or ill-advised. Salah taken very low, forced to recall again. and it looks like the team will get out of this. They all managed to survive, and they will be back here. So the offense actually has a decent spawn advantage, but they had to use a lot of ults. Sound barrier and the jump in from Salad on my ski. Nearly has that pulse bomb, trying to take out Arisa. Has the headshots. The Discord will take her down. If Salad finds a big bomb here, this could be the take for the offense. They still have 2 frags to work with. The stick is going to land. They will find Duck Hunt, and it looked nearly impossible, but at the very last second, it's going to be Boise State taking the first point in overtime.
One of the things that happened there is as Boise State was rotating around to that control point, Duck Hunt actually preemptively threw his hook, and we could see that mass of players, it didn't hit a single one. If that had landed, it would have changed the landscape in that push that they were making, but as Boise State prepped and pushed in, persistence got them that control point.
That certainly did take quite a while, though, but like a student turning into assignment at the very last moment, they will be able to take the point. You saw the trap there. The trigger did not result into a kill. Now take a look at why with this Dragon Blade available. If he goes for the dive, looks like they're setting up on the right side. That's the position they want to take and then going quickly. If they take out Ana, if they take out Zenyatta, or potentially even Junkrat early on, this could be a fight that they can win. But second point, so notoriously hard to defend. You can see Salad going for the dive. They took Ana down. This is a good start so far. Trying to snowball here. Y does have the Dragon Blade, just throwing at the Shuriken so far. Gets the Orisa as well. This is looking really good for Boise State. Y not even committing the Dragon Blade, and the team kill gong will be in effect. Boise State are snowballing very hard, and here comes the Blade. Y looking for the Moira. She actually shifts away. Lucky coming back. This could be the defense actually making this back here to recontest 2 ticks and then some taken so far. The trans committed. This fight is not over yet, folks.
That last fight was insane. The fact that Y held on to, he had the presence of mind to hold on to his ult. He actually targeted Lucky, who also had Riptire. He took out that primitive player there that could have stopped that push.
All uppercase with the self-destruct in the air, but Duck Hunt is able to get a kill in his own favor. Still all uppercase is popping off. One of the quieter but more successful members so far, and holy moly, they actually take it. What a ridiculous play from all uppercase, and really so far he hasn't been showing up huge, but this is one of their highest rated players, and in that map, Mike, we absolutely saw it.
Yeah, that was a completely different second half to that round than we had anticipated. So we saw that Boise kept making their pushes, they kept regrouping, and they kept attempting to get in there and kind of shake things up a little bit. And it wasn't until that final push that they got together and they're like, you know what, guys? This is it. This is how we're going to get in, and this is how we're going to combat this team.
And the turnaround, too, comparing the time it took for the first point to the second, like,
yeah,
that is incredibly rare that you see the overtime go down, and you're like, okay, well, they didn't full hold, but they're probably going to get stopped at point 2. Right. And then they just won it outright.
Yeah. Yeah, especially on that second point, like I mentioned, it's a lot more close quarters. Lucky did have Riptire, but as I stated, Y actually went in and did work without using that ult. He could have easily just went in and just flew around and targeted whoever he wanted to, but the team composition, the way they pushed in, allowed him to conserve it. Took out Lucky, no Riptire, and then sets up here, and we see this is actually part of that push.
Yeah, what's interesting too is, well, this is going to be the defense setting up. Yeah, well, what's interesting to me is the fact that the tank stacking composition against Junkrat didn't work out very well, but we see Boise State adapting mid-series. You have Y, you have the Genji from him, and then the overall dive composition makes it much harder, not only for the Junkrat to build his ultimate, but actually get multi-man tires off, like we saw in Kings Row.
GV Con, note here, actually locked in Hanzo. Be interesting. He's going to have that, long range. He's not going to have as much mobility. Oh, wait, there we go. That was switching over to Tracer here. I'm curious to see if they're going to actually use that. So coming out of the attacker's position, there's actually an alternate route you can take on the left-hand side. You have to jump over. There is some water, so it's a potential hazard. And
it's cold water, too.
Yeah, it kills you instantly. And he just elects to jump over. You can see him there in the bottom corner of your screen. He's rotating around here. We'll see if he's going to, how much of a nuisance he's going to be as the rest of UNLV pushes over.
5-1 split now from the dive to sleep. Will get deflected, but doesn't matter that long. Ooh, GB Kano's going for a sneaky flank there, but he ran into 3 heroes of the opposing team. Still, the dive is going to commit here, but it's going to be hard without their Tracer. Salad gets taken out by Lucky, but 11 is able to take out Verb. Trades back and forth, but it's still the defensive advantage simply because they found the Tracer very early on. That being said, though, this has taken so long that actually GVCon was able to respawn and make it back to the point here. They're going to be taking the very low. Y is taken out by GVCon, and it looks like the first point will be taken. It took a little bit for UNLV, but it did not take them nearly as much time as it took Boise State. They're going to have 7 minutes now to push the second point, Mike.
Yeah, UNLV there with GVCon on Tracer had a little bit of that distraction play. We saw them rotate opposite, and it seemed like Boise State just had a little bit of an issue targeting on which way to be. By the end of that push, you could see how spread out Boise State was. They weren't really focusing on the control point. They were on that upper deck trying to just go after any player that was in sight.
You almost got to wonder if they just felt confident they were going to win that their focus died off a little bit. Oh! A quick dive and a quick rebuttal, though, from the defense this time, as Duck Hunt will take out 11, but you got to wonder at this point it's going to be very difficult for them to sustain this. That being said, though, they're doing a mighty fine job of it so far. Skin is close to that sound barrier. Lucky looking to try and set up this Dragon Blade. Everyone makes it out alive. The diving back and forth has been so well executed by UNLV. It's impressive. Even when they're down 1 or 2 heroes, they still try and find value out of it.
Yeah, and you have to look at the difference in this team. Look at the setup right now that Boise State has. UNLV was set up more in the center of the control point. They had their barriers up. They knew exactly when the push was coming in, and they hunkered down together. Boise State seems like they're playing a little more of a rotating cast. They want to be able to cover more angles, especially as you mentioned with GVCon, with Lucky, with a lot of these players jumping in and jumping out and just constantly putting in little pepper amounts of pressure. It's interesting to see how they come together when the big push comes.
All right, this time the offense all together. They've got a lot of ultimates, but so does the defense. You can see them committed already. Still Lucky finding the first pick onto Phantom is going to be big, but the Dragon Blade Nano Boost seems to be too much for them to handle. Wide saying, you know what, you're not the only guy who has impressive Genji skills. As Duck Hunt in the Pilot Diva. Moira Coalescence committed, so it looks like actually, you know, UNLV doesn't want to make this easy for Boise State, but they're working out for it so far. I'm not entirely sure, though.
There's more of a fight going on behind the control point than there is actually on the control point. These players are just kind of chasing each other around frantically, and you can see the actual rotating of having one player on that control point, but here comes the big push.
That's a big sleep. GVCon is taken out by it, and I'm not sure if we're going to see an actual reset or not, because these two teams are so scrappy. They're just going blow for blow. The defense will always have the respawn advantage, though, in favor of trading for the defense. Why picking up Skin? He's going to have the reset off of that Swift Strike there, and Salad does have Tac Visor if he so chooses. Self-destruct committed. It doesn't look like UNLV wanted to make this easy in the slightest for the defense here, as even when they're down 1 or 2 heroes, you know, there's a line between aggressive and reckless, and I'm not sure if we've passed it yet, Mike, because they were able to get a tick, so it did work out for them decently, but that's still time and resources committed by UNLV, and Boise State holding strong.
Well, Boise State, now that we've seen a little bit more of this defense, what they're doing is they're actually pairing off. So we saw their Soldier 76 with that Ana. We have the heals. We have the actual range as well as far as lighting in shots. But here comes UNLV. They're going to try and push in. You see that Reinhardt's just going to push right into the control point. Boise State is still rotating around. They've got just a heap of massive bodies just all over the place. They're not really focusing in. And you see UNLV has to back up. So without doing a full commit and getting the team in there, they were able to push UNLV back off the control point.
Lucky now with the Dragon Blade. The Transcendence is not going to be in time, but Salad is able to take him out. Duck Hunt now very, very charged on that Zarya. He's going to be doing a ton of damage and building up his ultimate quickly. As long as no one dies, the self-destruct is still could be good for the offense here. Duck Hunt is trying to roast Y down. Y is not even close to his ultimate, but Slide Pie finds another one. The main tank for her team coming up big here, and she might be able to take out Duck Hunt. Yes, she does with Y's help. The Nano Boost has been committed. Still only 1 tick so far for the offense. UNLV's heroes very, very low, and they are forced to run away. So the swap to Reinhardt Zarya not working out for UNLV just yet.
Yeah, and again, they're still trying to fill out. This is the process of getting to know Boise State, seeing how they're going to do this defense. We're in exhibition mode. These guys want to try out different comps. They want to try out different abilities that can help them push in here. Boise State, to their credit, though, really holding this one down as fast as it is almost the inverse of that first match that we saw.
Yeah, you look at the setup that they've had in the coordination with dive so far, and it really seems to be the composition that's been working out for them. Salad on the Soldier, going to be close to another tactical visor. Y will be taken out quickly, so the McCree coming into good effect so far. The tanks do have ultimates, so this could be a chance for UNLV. The Graviton is going to be big. No defensive ultimates. They will get the wipe. It's only on it to contest. UNLV will be able to take the point, but it was a little bit slower than what we saw from Boise State University, which means we're going to be going to extra round, guys. It's going to be the offense first for UNLV once again.
Yeah, it's interesting to see the dichotomy there of those rounds. We saw UNLV was able to push in super fast to that first control point, but then took them a little bit longer on the second point, whereas Boise, the complete opposite.
All right, guys, you are here live. We've got probably over 100 people here. If you are rooting for Boise State, I want to hear you make some noise.
All right, we got some fans. But if you are here to watch your Running Reinhardts at UNLV, make some noise.
What a shocker, Mike. We're at UNLV and they've got more fans here. But, you know, I was surprised Boise State was some good representation and so far made for a very entertaining match.
It is, and I'm not going to lie, I've been swept up in the action as well. I actually, this morning when I went through my wardrobe to lay out what I was going to wear, I noticed that the red and the silver, you know, very similar to UNLV colors. Not really on purpose, but it's subliminally, it's in your mind. We are here at the Mountain West Esports Showdown. We have the actual collegiate championship basketball games going on, not more than maybe 20 yards away from us. But we are here playing Overwatch. These two teams showed up to play, and we're getting ready into this next one.
And Mike, what a world we live in. It's 2018. We are showing to the children that you can actually make money, get scholarships, and get paid through playing competitive video games. This is certainly my favorite timeline to live in.
Well, and the thing to note about that is that it's actually, there is so much discipline and hard work that goes into actually being an esports competitor, whether it be actually on the broadcast end, on the caster end, the coaching end, the team end, whatever it is. This is taken to a new level higher than it's ever been seen before, and the fact that these collegiate organizations have actually lined up with their own rules and regulations just means that this is the foundation we need to go into the future.
Yeah, you saw GVCon picked up there by SlyPie. You know, the composition actually split up a little bit from UNLV. I'm not entirely sure what they were thinking there. It certainly did not work out for them.
That Lucio was not having a fun time there, was put in the corner. We saw him get sleep, and then also just the full team rotated in there. So again, we're gonna have to see here, UNLV, how are they gonna set up for this push?
Already, Boise State University has put on a better defense than we saw in their first attempt at defense on this point. You know, only a minute left. These extra rounds go by very, very quickly. And now they're going to have the ultimate advantage, too. So they're going to have a couple of different combo pieces. They're very, very close. GVCon, the closest for a seed, but that's not even very impactful. Deadeye, you know, not as strong as these support ults that are going to be online for Boise State here.
Yeah, and we see Boise State, they're trying to set up here. They're all up on that elevated level. UNLV decided to push down, but you see, from all of the angles that Boise State has, they're just able to get the shots onto them. Look at that. And we see Salad is able to push in there. Soldier 76 is going to pull off, and Transcendence is going to hold for a little bit, but not enough.
Hold on, though, guys. That was such a definitive teamfight win, and so many ultimates were committed that we could actually see the Running Reinhardts come back here because they have the ultimate advantage now. Specifically, that man Verb and Lucky Shiko, the two players we've really seen come up huge for their team. If they get a high-impact ultimate, all of a sudden what looks like Boise State's route to win could turn into a very bad situation.
We're going to keep an eye at GVCon. Oh, as I mentioned, if GVCon goes down, you really need to touch that control point. We can see we're in overtime.
Lucky! Three-man Dragon Blade so far off of the Nano Boost. You see the self-destruct coming in. All uppercase trying to make a play happen here. Y is taking out mid-Dragon Blade, and that's going to be Lucky with another one at the very last moment in overtime, Mike. It looks like they're going to be able to take it.
Wow, with the clock ticking down, they led into overtime. I made the note, GVCon on that Tracer needed to get in there, touch the control point to ensure that his team have the time to get there. Instantly taken out. So even without that Tracer to try and hold down and contest that control point, the entire UNLV team came in and hunkered down.
And they didn't even need to use their tank ultimates, that massive crowd control that they have now to work with. This could be an incredible reversal by UNLV if they can win this here. It's a big graviton. Is the damage follow-up there? Verb already finding one. He's still got the Shatter. Shatter will be down, and that's going to be the heroes down as well. UNLV looking to take it here as they will zap 11 out. That's going to be overtime ticking down, and you can see Salad contesting for as long as possible. Recalls overtime still taking. That's 2 ticks so far, just a little bit more, and they'll be able to finish the map out here. Overtime still ticking away. Skin finds Salad, and I don't know if it's going to be enough, though. Verb, Skin, everything looking blue right now. The sound barrier to end it all. And impressively enough, UNLV are probably going to win Volskaya here when it looked like they were not even going to be able to take the first point again. Dragon Blade from Lucky Shaiko putting on the finishing touches, and that should be it.
One of the worst feelings to have while playing Overwatch is knowing that your team's respawns are off. We saw that Tracer tried to come in for Boise to hold the in contest, and then the Winston, and now Diva, and you're just literally just spinning one and after another. You don't have time to actually get the team back together and regroup, so you just got to try and hold off as best you can, and that's a rough spot to be in.
You can see the sigh of relief from Skin and the rest of the guys on UNLV's team. You know, that was almost similar to what we saw initially from Boise State University on the first attempt, where it took them very, very long to get the first point, but then they snowballed so quickly off of that, and it was really based off of the ultimates. You saw the overcommitment from Boise on the defense that enabled the offense to just play aggressively and then continuously snowball.
So I have notes here on a lot of the players, but I actually, as we showed at the start of the show, we can actually show their major that they're attending college for. I want to know who on UNLV is studying economics, because the way that they maintain their alts,
big value.
Big value. They're getting absolute value out of all of those. It's just incredible to see.
Yeah, you know, you've ever heard of the book Freakonomics? We're going to have an Overwatch version. Overwatchonomics.
Well, Altonomics.
We're going to work on, we're going to work on the name. That sounds better. That sounds better.
If you guys have any ideas, be sure you can tweet out. Be sure to share the stream. Let everybody know this historic event is taking place. Also use the hashtag MW Showdown to let us know who you're rooting for, Boise State or UNLV.
You know, both you and I, obviously, as residents of Las Vegas, we would like to see Las Vegas be successful. But, of course, Boise State, I mean, I've been watching these guys for a very long time now, and I definitely want to see them get a couple of map wins. They've been pretty impressive so far, but just haven't really been able to close it out. See the hook going wide, Lucky Shaiko on the Reaper. What a counter pick into the very aggressive playstyle from Boise State. I like this from Lucky, and now he's going to be using that Wraith form to get away and then go on this flank here, but they do see him.
Yeah, I like seeing Lucky switch over to Reaper here. It's going to have a little more chance to kind of get out there and poke. Obviously, we know he's good with the long shot, but getting in close is going to be very, very different here. And we see Boise State, they're kind of, again, they're spread out all over the place. We see a handful down on the control point. We see it up top, and this is Boise State just running house.
Yeah, the Boise fans are cheering loudly as they do have the man advantage. Salad is still alive, crucially, taking out Skin. This is a really good start to this fight, and they're going to have a little bit of time, over 2 minutes, really, to work with if they can take this here. Hook is going to land, though. Salad is taken out, maybe a little bit more. Too much, couldn't really chew that all down as he bit off more than he could chew, and that aggression, he was punished for it, but overall, they're going to be able to capture with about a minute 15 remaining. They get 30 seconds added to the clock. That's really crucial because they get at least 2 fights here.
Yeah, going into this next control point, I'm really interested to see how Duck Hunt on that Roadhog is going to utilize that hook. Who is he going to pull out? Who is the player that they think is going to be the biggest threat as they're setting up here, in here? And we can see this Diva, and we see why? He's up here. He's not even been spotted yet. He's
Mike,
just up here running damage.
If you want the answer to who's going to be the biggest threat, it's got to be Y here, because 11 has her nano boost. You've got the Dragon Blade essentially available. Here we go. Y looking for the dive target. The nano boost hasn't been used just yet. Y taken out, taken very, very low. Can he actually survive? I'm not entirely sure. Somehow he's still alive, but he's taken down by Verb. And they pushed the go button there. I don't know if that was a dry fire or not. They do get the sound barrier for it. But Boise State actually barely committing anything there. That must have been a dry fight. You know, they must have gone for the economy play.
Yeah, Boise State there, we saw all but one player go down there. It's interesting. You can see they have 3 of their ults are up, but UNLV, we now see Lucky. Reaper has his ult. We see Duck Hunt on Roadhog has their ult as well.
Crucially, though, they got the sound barrier away for free. So now it is Y's chance to really, really make a play here. Phantom FW is going to have his sound barrier as well. So, I mean, it doesn't get any better than this for Boise State. And unfortunately for them, this is the last chance they have. So it's do or die here.
Yeah, you can see in the up middle part of your screen, 20 seconds left. Boise State, here comes the push.
The Dragon Blade find Diana, but can he find more? Already a couple of his teammates down. He's looking for the Sombra. He gets the Sombra, though. Looking for Reaper here. Can he pick him up? Reaper does not have his ultimate bit. He used that earlier, but to very good effect. The sound barrier came in late, but still, Boise State University fighting on this point here. Duck Hunt will find Phantom, and why is when a 1v3 situation nearly impossible to win these? Overtime will be ticking down, and it doesn't seem to be working out in Boise State's favor. Volskaya so far looked very one-sided for Boise State, but UNLV will win the game and win the series.
Yeah, what an intense match. And you can see we got the UNLV fans are here in-house. They're here. They're happy to see their team perform so well. Boise State, again, they're trying to get set up. They're here. You know, they had travel time. They have practice time. They have all of this time that they have to account for. Well, UNLV, this is home base. They literally just walk, basically walk down campus, and they're here to play.
Yeah, they look comfortable as can be, rocking those red jerseys, just chilling out. You can see the fans cheering for their victors. Potentially a couple of future members of the UNLV Overwatch team in the audience right now, and, great to see them have a very impressive performance. It's been a close series overall. It definitely has. But really, UNLV, even when they're behind, always seem to find the answer to clutch it out at the very last second.
Yeah, another thing that's great to see is you can see all of the players there. They actually have the Mountain West logo now on their jersey. This is official. We have officially started the age of, big-time collegiate esports. We mentioned about TESPA and some of the other leagues and the other initiatives that have started now, but actual recognition from these sports organizations and the coaches and teams as well. It's historic. I keep using the word. That's exactly what it is. It's historic.
I mean, for those of you who are interested, the TESPA Collegiate Series runs its own competitive events where you can win up to the prize pool is over $100,000 in scholarships. That being said, though, these schools are offering their own scholarships for competitive players. Now, some of these schools are getting official programs. Some of these are still in the club phase, but all of those schools are eventually going to really level up and I'm assuming offer scholarships. So not only can you essentially win scholarship money, but you can also get scholarship money simply for being a player for your school.
Yeah, it's completely different times. This is all super revolutionary. I myself, when I was attending Miami University, Ohio, I was, hosting my own LAN parties and different kind of events and things like that. I actually found out the day that they started their esports club. I shed a little bit of a tear because I'm not saying that I started the foundation for that, but, kind of being the guiding light and helping mentor, some of this actually taking place. I cannot wait until we see full board tournaments with full team support.
Yeah.
And,
back in our day, Mike, we were discouraged to play video games in college. But now they're encouraged to play video games in college.
It is very true. And again, like we talked about before, as you can see there at Boise State, you can see they're being coached where, there's so much that goes into playing these games. They're just not staring at a screen and talking. There's so much. The practice, the prep, your mental state is actually a big point.
Yep.
And a lot of people, too, actually don't know the physical aspects of well. You want to make sure that you have, your posture, your height of your desk and things like that. It's the time that you put into it is just the same that you would put into, shooting free throws.
If you try sitting in a chair and playing Overwatch for 4 hours for the first time ever, by the end of that, your back's going to be sore, your wrists are going to be sore, and your eyes are going to just be, whoa. It takes endurance. You actually need to build it up. I remember when I've worked with teams before, we talked about them going to physical therapists, them going to the gym consistently. The level of discipline required to excel at the very highest level in any field requires consistent discipline, a lot of hard effort, and working on things that behind the scenes, you wouldn't even expect are issues.
Yeah, we can actually see there at Boise State, they have hand warmers, and what that actually does is that allows your muscles to relax a little bit more. Most time when you're traveling to venues like this venue has been fantastic, by the way, Thompson Mack Center, shout out, but sometimes when you go to like a convention hall or more of a, bigger space, it's very cold. It's very cold, and a lot of people don't know to compensate for that. So having those hand warmers and, relaxing and getting into the game, I mentioned it earlier, if you're comfortable playing in the game, then you're going to be playing better in the game as well.
Yeah, so the last map here is going to be Route 66. It's time to get your kicks. Unlucky once again on his Junkrat. He's played a couple of different heroes here, but that has got to be his signature so far.
Yeah, and I mentioned previously this is a bigger open range map, and we see Salad on that Widowmaker is trying to play a little more vertically, trying to sneak a little bit around right now, but it'll be interesting to see these angles. He knows the team is all up there on gas station. He's going to be able to try and fire out as before the rotate comes in here. And you can see UNLV just set up. They know they're going to allow the push cart to come in here because they know the contention point is actually that last turn before you go into the point.
Interesting to see, too, that we have a sub. Y has swapped to Crow here. See if that's any better for Boise State. So far, it's working out well for them, and I'm happy to see Salad on my ski finding the headshot there because you know what? We mentioned him in the pregame that he needs to show up, and he hasn't really so far, but this is a great start for Boise State on Route 66.
Yeah, that's 4 down now for UNLV. This cart is going to come pushing in here, securing this first point. UNLV is going to have to group up in this second portion of this map. Boise State, I'm interested to see here. There was a little bit of roaming there, but they didn't actually have to do a big split in order to get onto that point.
Yeah, but you can already see that a Duck Hunt and UNLV understand that they have to play into this Widow and try and counter her so far. So GV Khan is going to be on the Widowmaker himself, and then you have not only the Widow v Widow duel, but you have the D.Va to get into the face of Widowmaker. Nice kill, the pick up there, slide by taken out early on, means that the defense may be able to stabilize, but you know, they still actually have to contest the point. Actually, Boise's not even pushing anymore. They figure, you know what, we lost our main tank, let's get out of here, guys.
That was crucial with Slypie. You can see that the bubble shield that he was using on that part of the canyon protected his whole team. It actually prevented Widowmaker from coming in and getting shots. So the fact that Boise State knew, hey, let's slow down and let's back up a little bit, wait for Slypie to come back in. That's going to help us secure this push because there's too much damage output coming from UNLV to try and get in here now.
I actually think Slypie body blocked the headshot there, but here comes Lucky's Riptire looking for the supports. Uh-oh. Still at 100 HP. He hits the Winston, who will be taken low, but still alive. Slypie nearly has Primal available, but doesn't get it in time. So the kills will be lining up for UNLV. You can see the charge there onto all uppercase D, making him there, and Drummers was taken out by 11. But still, GV Khan on this Widowmaker has been absolutely dominant. He's been uncontested, and he even has the reprieve of the Reinhardt shield to work with. So it's really difficult for Salad to even take the Widow versus Widow duel.
Yeah, that pair is so solid in the way these players are communicating. You see Junkrat just jumped in there as well. So you have Junkrat and Widowmaker just pushing so much damage output, and Reinhardt protecting them there with that shield, working every angle on this map they can. You see here, they're getting ready to rotate over. They know they're in this push. And Junkrat with that Lucky, oh no.
Man. Goodbye, Crow. Lucky nearly with another tire available. All uppercase crucially gets GV Khan, so that big sniper is out. Lucky Psycho will be taken out by all uppercase, making it a 2-man DPS kill. Still, the other heroes of UNLV are alive and sustaining through this off the back of Drummers' Coalescence. Verb does have the shatter if he decides to go for it here. He'd only be landing on the tanks. He will be taken out. All uppercase, man. He has done so much work for his team, and it looks like he's going to do it again. Not only taking out the DPS, but also securing the fight with that pick onto Verb. That being said, though, Duck Hunt is still here. They're committing sound barrier. We've seen this from UNLV before. Even when they're down, they are never out, and it looks like they are actually going to be able to come back and win this team fight.
Yeah, that was incredible to see. Despite this map being a little more open, most of the fights have taken place in close quarters. You can see UNLV now, they're basically set up. Oh my God, and the shots. Salad, okay, that's the big push you need. This is the rallying point right here.
Yeah, they gotta make something out of this, Mike. They have to push this advantage. And Salad gets the Riptire, saving his entire team there. Nicely done. But can they keep going? You can see the Nano Boost committed. Crow does have the Dragon Blade. Here comes Crow with the Dragon Blade. No defensive ultimate for the defense. Crow already finding Lucky Psycho. Salad trying to support him with the shots here. Sees his opposing Widowmaker and GV Comp, but he gets taken down by the D.Va. A little bit of tunnel vision there, and that is not good for Boise State's offense, as Crow has gone down as well. Verb, meanwhile, charging back, will find Slypie, and they get the D.Va again. And that was potentially Boise State's best opportunity in this match, but they are still unable to capitalize.
Yeah, that Widow play there, we mentioned it before, Salad was able to land that shot and then get the push that was in there. Also was able to get the vision to allow his team to know who was there, but here we go, GV Khan is set up, here we go, with that Reinhardt once again. He knows that this is the route that they've been taking. They haven't alternated, they haven't tried anything new yet. GV Khan actually elects to jump down, and this is, are we going to see a Widow v Widow battle? Is this going to be the turning point to determine which push happens?
It's risky. GV Khan has so many different angles to work with.
Reinhardt likes to jump down, though!
5-man Earth Shatter from Verb already takes out Crow. The Transcendence comes in, but it is too little, too late. GV Con gets taken out by all uppercase. The tanks are the MVPs for both teams so far, as Salah taken low, forced to come back and heal with the help of Phantom FW. Does have that nano boost, but Verb with the Fire Strike. Duck Hunt taking out all uppercase. Drummers taking out Sly Pie. This is gonna be another wipe. Crow and Salad already forced to back away. And man, Verb, the longest tenured player on UNLV, and time again, he's absolutely shown that. The amount of clutch shatters this guy has landed has been insane.
Yeah, they had the setup there, and we've seen, you know, the preface there is that we want to see the damage output. Reinhardt is protecting his team, but you saw that as soon as the push came in, he said, all right, guys, do your thing. I'm going to get down here and get the rest of the team. It's easier to land shots when your opponent is unconscious.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see here, this is going to potentially be the last chance. The dive committed. A 2-man Riptire, though, already making it a very tough deal for Boise State. Still, Salad finding skin. If he can find a little bit more, they can continue to push this farther ahead. GV Con taking low, forced to take that jump up onto the high ground with his grappling hook, but he's going to drop down and take out Salad with the headshot now. 5 seconds remaining for Boise State. It is do or die. They're trying to touch for as long as they can. Overtime spawns will be taking effect soon. Sly Pie might even be able to make this back with the Primal Rage, and here she is. Still, it's going to be so much damage focused into her. The spawns are so close, which is nice for the offense, but it doesn't matter if you're just going to keep dying. GV Con with the 2-piece right there. Insane Widowmaker play, getting the headshot in the air. And this should be it. Overtime is done and dusted, and Boise State only get the first point.
GV Con there was focusing on the Boise State's Widowmaker there for the initial start of that push. As far as the team started to kind of fall apart, you could see he was getting back in position and knew exactly what he needed to do. You gotta land those shots. You gotta slow down that team from actually entering in from that canyon portion. Boise State kept pushing in. They rotate a little bit, but at the same time, when you've got the composition that UNLV did, you're just going to throw out chunks of damage and just land it.
And they supported their Widowmaker so well. We saw the duels, and Salad, respect to Salad, he definitely had some really nice picks, but the difficulty is he didn't have the strong, consistent shield that GV Con had to work with.
Yeah.
So every time GV Con just ducks behind that shield, boom, headshot, boom, headshot. And you don't have the shield poke, you don't have the shield break potential with the comp that Boise State was running.
I really love seeing UNLV, all of their players sharing the spotlight. You know, we talk about, you know, landing if it's headshots or it's Junkrat, you know, spamming across the field, or it's Reinhardt jumping down.
Verb, I mean, I would say Verb has a definite argument for the MVP in this series so far.
Yeah, and it's great to see, you know, as I was kind of saying this, that these players are rotating and giving each other the chance to make the play. There is no one player on this team, aside from Verb, technically, if he is shout calling and giving out the plays to the rest of the players. We'll get that info later, but all of these guys, they're rotating, they're doing exactly what they need to do. And you know what? When it's their time to shine, they get that opportunity. Nobody's holding anybody back, and they're all collectively playing as a team.
Yeah, and the fact, too, that they've been able to really have consistent play across the board impresses me even more when you consider that this is a very aggressive team. Even in situations where they are down a man, they still go for the aggressive play. It takes so much coordination to actually do that successfully.
We'll see Boise State here kind of elected to set up a little bit different. They have a few members up on gas station. They have a few right around the corner there. And we want to see, there's Verb on his Reinhardt. He's just going to sit here on the payload, and he's going to help push in. And here we go. They meet up with each other. Now they have the information on where the team is located. Boise State, we can see, is kind of just splitting around. A couple of their members are all over the place. Meanwhile, UNLV, they're just going to sit up on that payload. That's what you need to win the game, so you might as well protect it at all costs.
A hook into kill conversion is fantastic for the running Reinhardts, and Sound on my screen. He's going to delay for as long as he possibly can, but he will be taken out by Drummer's Biotic Grenade. That being said, though, Boise State played such a early defense. They will have the chance to recontest this. It's just the difficulty of you're not actually going to have all 6 heroes there in time.
Yeah, UNLV here, they're getting ready for this push. They know that there's going to be a hot contention behind this door here as soon as the payload gets here. Boise State wanted to set up, but what? Oh no, they went for the push, but a little too early. There's so much separation.
The flashbang was great there to take out the Tracer, and there goes LiPi. You can see GV Khan outplays the reflect as well. Crow was trying to deflect him and then pick up the kill with the high noon instead, but Deadeye will find its mark. And that's going to be another successful push.
Yeah, Boise State, I thought for sure they were going to sit here behind this door. They were going to prep up for this payload when it comes through, but instead they elect to make the push, and communication may have just been a little bit off. They had a few players run in, and just their timing was just not on point.
Yeah, it's tough when you have your Tracer going first because she is so hard to lock down. But if she makes herself a vulnerable target like you saw, you can just flashbang, stun, and easy pick up the kill. Now, Salad does have the pulse bomb. Needs to be careful, though, because GV Khan has had his number all game so far. And he's taken out already by Lucky. Lucky, that's 2 kills so far. Lucky still with the Dragon Blade. GV Khan looking for the deflect. He does go down eventually. Crow nicely done there, but it's not going to be enough as Boise State are just being cleaned up right now. Looking for the Lucio here when the last heroes remaining and the D.Va on the point. I'm not sure if they're going to win it outright off of this, but they're going to be primed and ready to go because they only have a couple of more meters to push this, Mike. UNLV looking to win this 4-0.
Yeah, this is like I mentioned on the last map. One of the worst feelings to have is when your team spawn is off. You can see a couple of members here. They just got to get here. They've got to contest it. We see Winston comes in. He's going to try and do his best and allow the rest of his team to come in. And
LiPi not able to get the Primal Rage, and this could be it right here. Lucky looking for the Mercy. 11 had swapped to that. Maybe get a Resurrect. No, she is taken out, and so is Salad on my ski. It is only all uppercase, and he is not going to last very long. Ladies and gentlemen, here at the Mountain West Esports Showdown, UNLV will go up 4-0.
Yeah, what a great series of games there to watch. We could really see the play styles and the mindsets these players have in this exhibition going into the matches we have for tomorrow. UNLV, like I said, just an entire rockstar cast, but they're all equally sharing the spotlight. Boise State as well played really good fundamentally, but it just came time that there were maybe a little slip here or there, and we see when you're landing shots like this, obviously having more members on your team alive is going to allow you, right?
Boom.
Are we watching Fleta? Is that a something to effect? But just like that, you're right. UNLV does the 4-0 sweep over Boise State. We saw it in the interviews. They wanted to destroy them. I think for an exhibition match,
I would say, yeah,
that's about as, but
it wasn't always simple.
No,
but it definitely was clean.
I think that is a positive note to take away for Boise State as well.
Yeah.
You think about, they only wanted to take one map off of them. They weren't able to do so, but I still think that they have enough information to hopefully download before tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll really have to see. Strategically, Boise State University made some really good decisions. Initially, we saw them running the quad tank. They then swapped to dive, which worked out in their favor. But it's just that they fell a little bit behind in terms of actually continuously going with the swaps. They swap from one comp to the other. If they can continue to play really, really aggressively, swap their compositions, and keep UNLV on their toes, tomorrow could go in their favor.
Mike, I have to ask you, obviously you've seen the dominance that UNLV had today. Coming into tomorrow, is there anything that they need to change for their best of 5, or do you think that the strategy that they employed today is going to be what they have to keep for tomorrow?
Part of the unfortunate thing about UNLV's composition right now is you have the players that are playing super hot. They have to play hot tomorrow. If you're not landing the shots like you did today, that's going to completely change your strategy and make you play a little bit differently. So UNLV, they came out of this exhibition feeling fantastic, but tomorrow is a completely different day. The other thing that I want to note is Boise State have a lot of theory crafting to do. I don't want to use the word sandbag, but maybe they use this entire exhibition to get the knowledge on UNLV. Who are the players? And if they're on this character, what do we need to do to stop that? So UNLV, play like you did today tomorrow, you're going to do great. Boise State, theory craft, set up, get ready for the matches, and bring it.
And it's their job to come back into this and come up with the outplay and theory craft, and like you said. But if you are this Boise State squad, the big thing is a Verb on Reinhardt. The DPS, you can't always shut DPS down. They're supposed to pop off. That's their job. If you can get Verb on a hero he's not as comfortable on, and that isn't Reinhardt, maybe you can take it.
So do you feel that compositionally, Boise State brought what they needed to the table, or what do you feel like composition-wise needs to change for these maps?
I think for what they played to their strengths, but they really need to expose their opponent's weaknesses. Because like I said, you're not really going to be able to force your opponent's DPS into uncomfortable situations, but we didn't see too much of non-Reinhardt maps. You know, force UNLV going for the dive, and you play dive into dive. SlyPie, who's a fantastic Winston, could lead the charge, and they take out Verb, they can win the game.
Well, that's going to do it for the Overwatch segment here. We have completed the first leg of today's broadcast. UNLV goes up 4-0 against Boise State, but Boise State is looking to strike back. We've got Rocket League next on the menu. We'll see you guys in a second.
We brought the sound that shook the ground. There is a meaning buried within the sound. We brought the sound that shook the ground. There is a meaning. We brought the sound.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bill Jump Carter, and I'm joined here with Caroline Henry, the Senior Associate Commissioner for the Mountain West. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We are here at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, Thomas and Mack Center for a multitude of things. You've got the NCAA Men's and Women's Championship for the Mountain West Conference the entirety of this week, as well as the Mountain West Esports Showdown. Now, this came across your desk, a little while ago, and we've talked a little bit beforehand. Esports wasn't something you were super knowledgeable about. What has the experience been like since picking up this project?
So the experience has been great, and as you mentioned, it got kind of put on my desk. We were at a meeting in December. Our board of directors said, you know what, we want to try an exhibition. We think this will be great. Our students really love it and participate in it. Why don't we try to blend the two?
Now, blending the two has been fantastic. We're literally a basketball pass away from the court itself. What has it been like wedding the two events together, the championship as well as the showdown that's happening this weekend?
It's been fairly easy. We already have a championship format set up, and so we used a lot of the things that we do on our championship for men's and women's basketball for our e-sport competition. Having the location where it is made it a lot easier. We have a lot of our basketball fans coming in, asking questions, and we're trying to educate them on what we're doing here and why this is so exciting.
The excitement of bringing esports to any sort of LAN event, anytime you can bring it to a physical location, especially at something as prestigious as this, has always been fantastic throughout the history of esports. What do you think has been the biggest surprise throughout, whether it be organizing this event or seeing the reactions from the fans that are coming in, or just the event as a whole?
I don't know if it was as much of a surprise as it was somewhat challenging just trying to navigate this landscape. It's a lot different than intercollegiate athletics, but at the end of the day, it is an event. And so at the end of the day, we actually ended up being about at the same place we are with basketball.
Now, you did say you took a trip over to the Fiesta Bowl and checked out the TESPA Collegiate Series Overwatch Finals. Figuring out and learning more about esports the way that you have, what has been one of the more enjoyable experiences, or just something that you've learned to appreciate in seeing the new gaming side of things?
So one of the things that's, it's fascinating to me and it's really fun is the fan involvement. Whether they're watching from afar, whether they're in arena and venue, it's just the excitement that the fans exhibited. That was amazing. It was an amazing atmosphere at the Overwatch Championships.
Now, this weekend, we've got Boise State and UNLV playing against each other over the next 3 days for this event. School involvement with Mountain West is extremely important. Obviously, when you have that participation, when you have, all of your teams on board, what has it been like working with Boise State and UNLV to get this set up?
It's been great. Boise State and UNLV, they've educated me on esports and helped me along the way. But I think they've also educated our administrators, our board of directors. This is the future, and we really are excited about it.
Well, thank you so much, Caroline, for coming and hanging out with us. That's going to do it here. Don't forget to check out the Mountain West Conference as well as the Mountain West Esports Showdown while you're here at UNLV. Thanks. We'll see you guys later.
Thank you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Thomas and Mack Center here at the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. We're here just moments away from the Women's NCAA Mountain West Conference Championship, where Boise State will be taking on Nevada to see who is going to be the winner for the 2017-2018 season. But before that, we've got some esports action for you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mountain West Esports Showdown. My name is Bill Jump Carter. I've got Lisa Malhouse, Jolly Freak, and Adam McGuire. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, day number 2, man. It's going to be awesome if day number 1 was any indication.
Yeah, it's so exciting to be here. Tomorrow, the tournament, we are stoked.
There is a lot of action to happen before that begins. We just had the Overwatch. Yesterday, it was Boise State that was putting their name on the Mountain West Esports Showdown. But today, right off the bat, it was UNLV with that 4-0 map score against Boise State. But now, Boise State can even things up because they did a pretty good job, I think we can say, yesterday for that Rocket League.
Closeout is not the word I'm going to use because UNLV did show signs of life. They showed they're an adaptive team. But yes, 8-0, you point to the scoreboard and just nod your head in agreement.
It was quite enjoyable. We can go ahead and throw up the Rocket League format for you of what it is going to be today. We've got 8 exhibition matches to showcase each team's individual skill, just like yesterday. No winner. There are going to be 8 matches, so it's just going to be, hey, let's have some fun. Let's score some goals and see what happens because it's all going to be data to download for the best of 7 that's going to be on Saturday that we're running in tandem with the League of Legends and Overwatch. Now, let's talk about yesterday a little bit before we get into today. I'm going to go with you, Lisa, first. Biggest takeaways from yesterday and Boise State's, easy to say, domination.
Well, we saw a heavy rotation from Boise State and definitely more communication, which, as we've seen with basically every game, is huge. Team sports, you need that communication. You need to not all be grouped up. We saw a lot of that from UNLV. So I think if we see a little bit more separation and communication from Las Vegas, then they will be able to definitely hold their own against Boise State.
Adam, I'll go with you next. With both the rosters, if you had to pick one player out of the 6, who's the one that you think stood up the most yesterday?
That's really tough because each member of Boise State really had moments of shining, and throughout the course of those 8 games, they did great. I honestly really liked the way JJ Sky was playing yesterday. Very aggressive, was always on point, but you got to give big kudos to Isro, who just absolutely decimated wherever he was, whether it was the lob shots or the passes off the wall. He was on fire, and again, just Boise State in general was working very well. So.
Well, that's a perfect segue. Let's talk about the Boise State roster. We've got the 3 members. It's going to be JJ Sky, Estero, and Comber Buster. Now, you've talked a little bit about JJ Sky. Lisa, fill me in a little bit more on the other 2.
Well, Acero we saw making shot after shot and getting the goals through. JJ Sky was doing a great job of offense, but we saw Combo Buster many times getting some great saves in defense. So I mean, there was no real set position for any one player. They were doing such an amazing job of rotating out that they were each able to provide each other with the support that they needed wherever they were at on the field.
Now, they obviously had a dominating showing yesterday. Do you predict, either one of you, any changes in their strategy coming in today on maybe some optimization to maybe play even better, even though it was already, that 8-0 sweep?
Good. Well, I know that the Boise State team was working a lot on passing the ball, actually moving it around the field so one person wasn't carrying it all the way across. So I do see Boise State still holding their own for sure. We did see UNLV coming back, though, and we had that one game of overtime. It was tied 2-2. So if UNLV is able to strategize against Boise State's strategy, then they really won't have to change that necessarily.
All right, let's flip the script. UNLV, we've got Pib, King, and Mango. Who's the standout here?
King was everywhere. The saving grace, no pun intended for UNLV, whether it was the last-minute block shots or even getting some off the wall, some great spikes that honestly shouldn't have gone in, that just absolutely seared by Boise State. So big ups to him if he continues on. And again, not to take away from Mango and Pib, but King was just kingly. He was godlike.
They win one match. They've already obviously beaten the showing from yesterday.
Correct.
What's the big key points for that?
Lisa basically stole my notes before the show, apparently, because the bunching that we did see yesterday was actually very problematic for UNLV. The fact that multiple instances of players running into each other, balls going off in directions that they shouldn't even be going, was a pretty telling sign that there needs to be some space, some communication between these teams, and better pass arrangements, if that makes any sense.
I'm going to complicate your lives a little bit more. Yesterday, I asked for simple predictions. Today, I want to know game scores. We've got 8. We've got 8 matches total. How many for Boise? How many for UNLV? Lisa, I'll put you on the hot first.
I am going to say that UNLV probably is going to pick up 1 or 2 of these matches, but I really don't think it's going to be many more than that, just based on the play style of Boise State yesterday.
And so I'm going to go 6-2 Boise State. All right, so it looks like we're going to jump here right into game. It looks like our start off, Acero has a nice setup here. He's going to grab some airtime.
We got several Octanes on the field as well. It looks like there might be a Paladin on that, unless we've got Endo from the same player. Yeah, Cosmo Buster on something other than Octane here today. Nope, there is a Paladin and an Endo coming from Boise State here, and then the Octane obviously is Acero. We saw him comfortable on that vehicle yesterday, and it looks like UNLV didn't quite switch it up at all. It looks like we have 3 Octanes.
BSU.
First goal, great shot in.
Cosmo Buster starting off the game hot. 4:30 still, or 4:25 still remains here on the clock, and a great shot in that upper left corner. will start it out, does a couple barrel rolls to really make his point made, and we are here now, face off, 3, 2, 1, and away we go. Nice dodge there to start it out, and it's going to be into Boise State's area.
The speed on Boise State's team is very impressive with these vehicle choices, but there is a little bit less control, both aerial and on the ground. So hopefully we'll be able to see those same aerial shots, the pop shots that we were seeing yesterday.
That was one of the big, strong key points for Boise State yesterday, is the aerial play was unbelievably amazing. And we're actually seeing already off the bat, UNLV is playing really, really well to start off this match. Yes, they are down 1, but that doesn't mean a whole lot considering how everything unfolds in this game. It can be a matter of seconds before we're equalized, if not ahead. Nice clear there from Cosmo Buster, going to put it in neutral ground as he goes to grab some more boost. And not winged, actually, an individual we did not see yesterday being added to the roster, so we'll have to double check our stats here, Jolly, make sure we have the right information. Cosmo Buster with a great redirect, almost puts that one in, but it is saved there by not winged. Gonna dribble it up here on the left-hand side, and a great response there from Boise State. Gonna put that aerial in the neutral zone. And Boise, like you mentioned, Jolly, has been working on the pass game quite a bit, so we're probably going to see more than a handful of these aerial plays, probably focus on that as well. So I'm pretty excited to see how crafty they get with this time around, because if yesterday was any indication, they probably have more than a few tricks up their sleeve.
Ooh, great block there. Yeah, and another thing, too, that we had mentioned yesterday during the 8 games was that it seemed like UNLV wasn't doing a great job of conserving their boost. They were using it to kind of position, turn themselves around, and not really ensure that they had the ball so much as maybe go for a chance of it and end up missing it a lot of the times.
Right.
So maybe not wing it on UNLV's team. It seems like he's already doing a much better job of rotating around, grabbing those boosts. What a great save.
Not wing it, make sure that doesn't go in, and it's on the side of Boise State, who's now reeling from that shot. Great move there. It looked like it might have actually have gone in had no one been there. But again, not wing it, actually showing up for UNLV and making a statement. A little bit of a missed boost there from Acero is going to put him in an awkward position. Ball now at the neutral zone, leaning towards a Boise State's goal. And not winged, doing great to keep it forward and in motion. A nice cross path here. Is it going to be? No, it's stopped there right there by JJ Sky.
Yeah, looks like a member of UNLV, not exactly sure who tried to get the shot there, but it was a little bit higher than he was planning. Great push back, though. We'll see if the ball can get back over to Boise State's side so that UNLV can get a little bit of pressure here.
Great clear. That'll actually start the action. It's very well centered. They could try to turn this around. Not able to redirect that in the favorable direction, but now Boise State will take it off and be stopped there in neutral ground. A little aerial ball play there to make sure that UNLV can cross this up. A great stop there by Cosmo Buster. Not in any real danger of going in, but will unfortunately miss the follow-up there. And Acero now trying to make something happen. A great aerial shot. The spike down. Wow. It is in. Cosmo Buster putting another one on the board with the assist by JJ Sky.
That was incredible. What a great pop. He actually lobbed that off the top of the car, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Phenomenal direction. And again, we're seeing that aerial play. UNLV definitely needs to get up in the air more, but they need to do it with a little bit more speed than we've been seeing. They're kind of floundering as they're flying towards the ball and end up misdirecting the shot.
Oh, that's a great cross. That almost went in. You saw the panic dodge there from JJ Sky to make that stop, so a great play there. Wasn't entirely expecting that to take a turn that it did, but a good response there from Boise State. And now a shot on goal, not going to be quite where they're looking for. UNLV trying to put one in the net, but not able to. Acero will clear that out as best he can. Followed it up by his teammate, I'm assuming was Cosmo Buster. Gonna pick up some more boost and find himself making sure that, yes, this gets out of the right-hand side. Going to be center, that's a pretty dangerous ball. If Boise State doesn't answer, everybody went for boost. It was wide open. Had that been on goal, that would have been the first points for UNLV, but unfortunately, it was a little bit wide.
Yeah, it didn't even look like they were lacking boost there. It was just a bit of a slow follow-up by one of the members of UNLV, but they are doing a great job of keeping it off their side of the map. Yesterday, we saw the majority of the game played on their side of the field, so the ability to at least push it back towards Boise State's goal and not force them to consistently play defense will definitely help UNLV out.
30 seconds left. This means that if we can get one here in the near future for UNLV, we may see some overtime, but right now Boise State holding strong 2-0. Do not forget we have extra time until that ball finally touches the ground, meaning they need the equalizer and then an extra little miracle to make it into overtime. But it does look like Boise State now, 10 seconds left, may take game number 1. Nice shot there from the upper right side is going to be wide left, unfortunately, and that will spell game number 1 for Boise State.
Already a change in strategy, though, from UNLV here. Almost shot on goal there. Yeah, already a change in strategy. We're seeing more wall play. We're seeing more aerial play, and that's a really good sign for them. The fact that, Boise State only got 2 quick goals on them, and then they were able to keep their defense up and maneuver it to the other side of the field. It's very promising for UNLV.
And the great thing about this is, as we did see the new player, I unfortunately forgot to write his name down, not Winged. There we go, jumping in and actually showing up really, really well. The team communication was quite a bit better than it was yesterday, and that aerial play was there. You kind of mentioned the fact that they're not going fast enough, while yesterday they were going almost too fast.
Yeah, going too fast and utilizing their boost more to potentially set up a shot as opposed to guarantee a hit on the ball. So we're seeing a little bit more conservation in that sense here today. A great turnaround in the abilities for UNLV players. Looks like Cosmo Buster is going to get the first hit on this guy. We've got a shot towards the goal. Ooh, and it actually gets tipped off of King back onto Acero, so he was not able to hit that towards it. Mango is going to do his best to push it away, and Not Winged going to follow that up. So a little bit more passing that we're seeing from UNLV, actually, which is great.
Well, and we did notice 2 individuals in the goal there for UNLV, which is not necessarily a normal tactic. It's a more defensive tactic, but that's how much pressure Boise State was able to put on just one drive here. You saw Acero put 2 shots on goal back-to-back before he had even hit the ground. So the redirects here from UNLV are definitely there. They're just, Boise State's doing a great job of responding to the counterplay. As you see right there, Acero pops it back out, and Boise State now looking at a little bit of aggression, as UNLV has actually spent a lot of time here on the offense, putting a bunch of pressure here on this blue side goal. Aerial play is up. No one's going to be touching it. It's just going to float around for a little bit. Great wall play, but unfortunately knocks it in. Cosmo Buster helps out King. An unofficial assist there. King picking up 1 for UNLV.
That was a fantastic play, and we are seeing new cars as well. Yesterday, we saw 5 out of the 6 cars were Octane, 3 of which were UNLV, Endo being the only other car on Boise State's team. So we do have a little bit of a switch up, trying to maybe get some of the speed and some of the wall play that Boise State was utilizing so well last game.
Absolutely, and looking to tip that out, wasn't able to, so this is going to be pressure on UNLV. Boise State is looking to find the equalizer here, not going to find it as Not Winged is going to push this away. Nice little clear there into the other side of the arena, trying to center off this ball so we can get a first strike of some sort, some kind of one-timer, but instead a lot of pressure here and a nice little push for UNLV towards the Boise State goal. Looks like instead it's coming right back, much like Rocket League normally does. It almost goes in up on the top there, but it looks like Acero was able to put a wheel or 2 on it to staunch that. So now the carry up on the left-hand side. Cosmo Buster getting in position. It looks like the rest of Boise State was supposed to back him up, but no one there to really do so. So he was left in enemy ground by himself. Now all 3 of Boise State on the defensive, trying to just get some open ground. Aerial play is stopped, and King is going to make sure of that, trying to set up yet another play as we head back towards neutral ground.
Yeah, we see Acero again on Octane, who does an incredible job. Great shot there. Did not make it in, so we'll see UNLV pushing it back towards Boise State side, but they will not relent on this offense.
Nice little pass here. This is an open shot, but Acero got a little bit of a nose on it. Unfortunately, it kind of knocked it out of the way for Cosmo Buster. Great shot there from King. Is it wide? Yes, it is, but JJ Sky pushes it even farther to make sure that does not go in, putting them down yet another one. A great little aerial bump there from Acero now. The Cosmo Buster leading the attack. Acero trying to set up now, gets into the air. Unfortunately, jumps a little wide right. Now Cosmo Buster trying to set this up. This could be a great shot. He gets the wheel on it. The nose is in. It's good. Cosmo Buster tying up game number 2 with the assist from JJ Sky.
Great play on Cosmo Buster, and I actually believe he's on Dominus. I think I made a mistake there in calling it the Paladin. So we're seeing a little bit of a stickier play, I guess, from Cosmo Buster on that Dominus because it is a very, very speed-based vehicle, less control that he has. So positioning and getting the car to accelerate is a bit of a difficulty for him. Once he's going, he can't be stopped. But positioning for that has been a little bit more difficult for him in this one. Lots of good play, though, on Boise State's side. UNLV is keeping it over here so that they can at least get some shots on goal. We've got it right next to UNLV's, but looks like Not Winged is able to push that out, headed over. Yeah, that was a great hit back as well by King. And Not Wing It getting some great aerial shots in, doing a great job of the pop and the dodge that we were talking about yesterday.
And it looks like Cosmo Bus are trying to set up for some kind of assist. Boise State's been doing a phenomenal job of making sure those last-minute saves are where they need to be. And it looks like UNLV is trying to get a little bit more of an aerial game going. A shot on goal. JJ Sky gonna pick that up. That will be 2-1 in Boise State's favor. Acero with the assist. And it was a solid pass there, right in the middle. Gets aerial, little tap in the nose, and it is good. So Boise State up 2-1 here in game number 2 with 1:30 remaining. It looks like away we go, and it's going to be in the favor of UNLV. Quickly return, though, for Boise State. Look at that. A few seconds off the clock. Another point rewarded. 3-1 Boise State.
Yeah, a great play there. And 2 back-to-back goals feels a little bit rough for UNLV, but we have seen their prowess. We have seen their desire to turn this around. The offense has been great. Now they just need to maneuver the defense. We have to see a little bit more rotation from them.
And the faceoff is started. It looks like, once again, in the Boise State side, quickly returned, however, to UNLV. 2 members of UNLV having to cross up, but it's still not enough as Acero finds the hole and puts it in for 4 right now. Boise State just has no way to lose. This has been their game through and through, and turning on the heat real quick.
Oh yeah, and we are seeing the 2 in the goal is definitely not the worst place to have 2 players at the same time. King almost did have the save on that one. Fortunately, he was not able to turn around quite quickly enough. So maybe the rotations, like I was saying, picking up the boost ensures that UNLV is going to be able to respond more quickly than UNLV.
Oh, an unfortunate pop and a great save by Cosmo Buster that gets the angelic ball right there in the top right corner. 1 minute remains. This is a very, very large lead for Boise State University. So far, looking dominant here in game number 2. Day number 2, a nice little redirect there from Cosmo Buster. Shot on goal is going to be way too high. JJ Sky trying to make something happen. It's going to leave the goal wide open, but not a whole lot of pressure there from UNLV. And now we are on our way back here towards orange sides. A little bit of wall play here. Great push there from Not Wing It is going to move the ball in his favor. JJ Sky is up, looking to spike it, going to miss by just a couple of millimeters. 30 seconds remain now. Look, UNLV trying to find something here, and instead is going to be on the defensive, which is where they definitely do not want to be. Great little push there from Acero. Leaves the goal wide open for Cosmo Buster. That's number 5 for Boise State.
Yeah, King is doing his best to keep that goal kept, but he is unable, unfortunately. We've got 2 members of Boise State, at least, generally in the wings. The speed, again, from their team with 3 different cars available means they can push it where they need to, and Acero is going to be able to navigate the ball directly to the goal. So we are seeing some more wall play as well. Keep an eye on. Ooh, that was a great demo there. We love seeing that. King has given us a bunch of those last game.
Wow. JJ Sky picking up another. Sorry, not to interrupt you.
No, not at all. And there's another. That's the demo that came through. So that definitely helped Boise State here. And that's 2 goals, 5 shots for JJ Sky in this game. 9 seconds left on the clock. 6-1. Not much UNLV can do here, but if they can get another in the goal, it'll at least feel good.
Oh, and a number 1 shot. It is right off the bat, and that is number 7 for Boise State University. Let's take another look at that, because where was UNLV? They were picking up boost. A nice shot there. Not a single one of them going into that face-off. Unfortunately, that is about as free as it gets. We'll be probably moving on to game number 3 here. Just adding insult to injury is Boise State. Stop playing with your food, kids. Start working on your mechanics or something.
The communication is definitely more of a factor for Boise State's team and needs to be more of a factor for UNLV. So hopefully we'll see that in the next couple of games. It seems like they are picking up on some of the strategies that Boise State has been annihilating them with and using them against their own team.
Well, a shot on goal, own goal for that matter. Looks like it's going to be game number 2 for Boise State, and yet another commanding win for BSU. They are all smiles, they're digging it, and yeah, that was the thing that we're seeing with UNLV is that they're playing a little bit more defensive than they were yesterday at this point. But the big point is that while UNLV is using 2 to defend and they'll send 2 on 1 shot, Boise State is sending 2 on the attack and getting the extra movement that UNLV it commits to. So we're seeing 2 individuals go in the defensive for UNLV. What seems to only be 1 individual from Boise State, and then this sneaky redirect, I mean, even leapfrogging your own allies to spike that ball in. So we'll see if that is going to remain a thorn in the side for UNLV as we get here into game number 3.
Yeah, game 3, we have not best of. There's no winners in this. We're all just having friendly scrims. Tomorrow we will have an actual tournament, best of 7. Today we are playing 8 matches though. Yesterday, Boise State staunched UNLV 8-0, 100%. But UNLV should show up here in the next couple of games. We're seeing some great plays and a new player.
Like I said, they're very adaptive. At least that's what we saw yesterday. Oh, possible shot on goal is going to be popped out of the way. However, from Acero, really slow play there, but great move is all 6 individuals trying to make sure this goes in. Boise State with a great clear. Is it going to go in? It does look like Cosmo Buster is going to steal that from JJ Sky.
Ensure that it hits the goal. It definitely was going in. There wasn't really much UNLV could do. We had no defense, you can see on this side, and it looks like nobody's gone back to pick up the boosts as well, so the rotation from Boise State is helping them a lot. You mentioned 2 going forward, 1 hanging back, and that one that hangs back is grabbing boosts, ensuring that he's at 100%, so if it does get to their side of the field, he's able to push it back and even carry it to the goal if need be.
Absolutely, and JJ Sky trying to get it by his lonesome off of the wall behind the goal, isn't able to capitalize, but is looking beautiful while doing it. A little bit of a clear here for King as JJ Sky resets himself. He's looking for a good shot. He's going to get the bounce, and it is cleared from UNLV. King, once again, being the savior there. A great aerial redirect, but it's going to be a little wide left. So unfortunately not going in for Boise State, but a great shot on goal nonetheless.
And you'll notice that we're seeing more from Boise State. What's working very well for them is doing their dodges, jumping and leaps. It is in the air, but it's not as they flip into the air. It is as they are sailing towards the ball, and it's more to direct the car so that it hits the ball where they want it to go. UNLV, however, seems to be kind of popping in the air and then trying to force themselves in a direction by spinning, and it's not working out for them. Great save there, though, by Mango. They almost collided. Not Winged's going to try to. Nope, King is going to push it over to Boise State's side. Boise State has 1 defender there, though, and another strategy from them that we're not seeing much of from UNLV that's really working out.
And it almost seems not necessarily like a strategy because Rocket League is so fast. It's more about the rotations than it is, putting a person in a certain spot. Everybody has to be solid in every. Ooh, demolition there, Cosmo Buster. But what I was getting at is that the movements by Boise State are pretty clear, concise, and calculated. UNLV does show signs, but again, the bunching that we were talking about yesterday still has not disappeared, and it's becoming a very big problem for UNLV. JJ Sky going to clear this out, bouncing it off the wall, back to himself. Unfortunately, redirects it towards his own goal. Looks like Cosmo Buster, though, is there to make sure it's not too terrible of a situation, even clearing it out for JJ Sky here. Shot on goal, not going to connect.
That's another difficulty with Dominus or with Endo. They are
oh, great shot!
Oh, and it's gonna make it in. King ensures that goes into the goal. We have 1-1 now. UNLV holding their own and hopefully gonna be able to show us some more of that. I was saying, though, that you'll notice with Endo, with Dominus, because of the flatter vehicle, when you do those aerial shots, it's going to tend to not as easily go the direction you want. The rounded top of the Octane is one of the reasons that it's such a great vehicle and played consistently by the pros. So we'll see how they're able to get those aerial shots and maybe not miss so many redirects as we just saw.
All right, and these are the aspiring pros, so maybe they are onto something we are not. JJ Sky now looking for the shot. He is going to find it. It is going to go wide right, however. Not a body in sight, though. Reset is going to be in. A shot there wide left, unfortunately. UNLV now still on their heels, unfortunately. And it looks like we're going to play on the wall. A nice shot is too far right. Hits the post, unfortunately. Is that goal regulation size or what? JJ Sky now putting it into the corner, trying to set up another assist here, but it looks like Acero going to take the shot. It is good, and it goes over the head of Mango and into the net. 2-1 for Boise State, with 1:37 left.
Acero is just everywhere at the same time. We saw him destroy on Octane yesterday. Perfect follow-up as well. He doesn't just take the shot and then reposition. If one of the members of Boise State takes the shot, they ensure that it goes in.
We had a little bit of deja vu there because that was kind of the same area that that King had shot from and got it in. So a little, if you can do it, I can do it as well. Showing off here for Boise State, or just simply coincidence, who knows. JJ Sky gonna put this into neutral air now.
King's doing some great aerial shots and blocks. We're seeing a lot of the boosts mid-air to position himself where it needs to be, and it looked like that actually might have tipped off of a member of UNLV into the goal. We'll take a look at that replay really quickly.
Bounce off the wall. Oh, looks like Cosmo might have actually got a piece of it. So
that was just an awkward angle for us here. Alrighty, 1:16 left in the game. 3-1. UNLV is on the board. They've won the past couple of face-offs, so hopefully they can keep it towards Boise State's goal side. Great save there. We see Acero is going to try to move it back out, but UNLV doing a pretty good job of maintaining offense.
Some great aerial play there. Nice little setup and assist. Gonna get past Cosmo Buster. The redirect will be enough. Oh, that post is in the way. Boise State able to keep it out. And if you are here, you are losing your mind. That should have gone in for UNLV, but unfortunately, it's going to be stopped there from Boise State University, who's now on the attack and moving forward strong. A great dodge is gonna go over the head of King and Mango. Cosmo Buster sneaking it through now, picking up goal number 4 for Boise State University.
That's 4 shots on goal from Cosmo Buster and 2 that have made it in. He's also got an assist and a save, so you can just see how well Boise State is playing as a team. Not a single member is not involved whatsoever in those stats. So it's good to see the team play and very much passing going on from Boise State players.
Well, and their attacks, like we were talking about, are starting in multiple different phases almost. That one individual takes it forward, the leapfrog happens, and not even that, but the single shots are amazing. Like we're seeing right here, a shot on goal puts it in dangerous position. A cross across the net is going to spell a re-attempt here for Boise State. JJ Sky going across, catching some airtime. Acero now gonna just fall back on the defense and reset, picking up some boost to make sure as 10 seconds are left. 3 goals to be gained in order to send us to more time. Unfortunately, not gonna be enough as the final shot of this game presumably is going to go wide right. So aerial play now, it's not going to send us anywhere, but it will be for the message. Boise State now picking up game number 3 out of 8, and they are loving this. This could be another clean sweep from Boise State. See Coach Chris Haskell there cheering the team on. They are feeling invincible now at this point. And if you're UNLV, you've got to find some kind of ground to stand on. And the substitution is working out. They do look better than they did yesterday, but I would dare to say Boise State actually looks almost better than they did yesterday.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of the wall play. Like I had mentioned, also the 2 different cars makes it so that Boise State has a little more versatility in their play style. They know that Acero can do his job and what they need Octane to do. And so JJ Sky and Cosmo Buster will be riding on the walls, going up on the ceiling, and getting some great aerial shots, at least trying to send it towards Acero because they know he can keep control of that ball.
Game number 4 has started here. Face-off going in the favor of UNLV. Quickly turned around for BSU, however, as they start this attack here on the right-hand side. Looks like King going to get aerial, can't really get this out. Acero trying to put it on net is not going to be able to. And now it looks like Cosmo Buster. Ooh, great save there, because that could have been an early goal there from UNLV. But JJ Sky now, he's on the wings looking to make something happen. Instead, we'll try to redirect this and set it up for his teammates. Nice little pop to kind of slow the ball speed down. And Cosmo Buster with the cross shot, not able to put it in, but it does keep it in a relatively dangerous area with Acero's help. Gonna miss that one wide.
And again, all 3 members we're seeing every time on one side of the field, whereas that shot that was towards goal on BSU's side, they've always got at least one vehicle that is facing away from the goal, ready to defend, ready to hit it back towards the other side of the field. So maybe if we get some more movement from UNLV, at least keeping one defender and rotating them out as they need to be played, the strategy is working for Boise State. It should work for UNLV in practice.
And we did see a demolition there from Cosmo Buster, which almost actually left him wide open for a goal for UNLV, but it unfortunately went wide. A missed attempt there from Cosmo Buster, but it looks like King going to try to carry this out. Acero stopping him up in the aerial quarter. And now it looks like UNLV with a great pass in the top right corner is not able to put it in the net, but unfortunately BSU on their heels now, able to clear it out with a single tap. It is going cross field. JJ Sky gonna get aerial, nice clear there. Very decent shot on goal, should put it in a dangerous position, but Mango showing up to get that out.
Yeah, Mango keeping the pop on the ball, ensuring that it doesn't get too low to the ground, because we did see UNLV doing a great job of ground play, of dribbling it and keeping control. Boise State lobbing it into the air because they do have that spectacular aerial play, really on every player of the team.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we had touched on. One of the hot points is that Boise State is looking phenomenal in the air. Maybe not as much as they were yesterday, but UNLV, when they can get going, and have been showing more aerial play this time, which has worked out in their favor, putting the ball in more favorable positions. Just not able to capitalize, unfortunately. A couple weird bounces and stuff of that nature, but definitely showing that they do have signs of life. This game going quite a bit better than the previous 3, as we have no score here with 2:43 left. Another great shot on goal there for Boise State. Acero going to go flying by, unfortunately not finding anything.
And you can tell Boise State is attempting to use the versatility that they have with the different vehicles. I mean, they could all be running Octane and likely doing just as well as they have been, but it's always, ooh, great shot there, Acero, and unfortunately, it looked like Mango was unable to prevent that, just not quite high enough up in the air.
It was a great little sneak by. They did attempt just a little bit too late on that boost in the aerial play. So another goal and another solid start from Boise State University. And also there was that demolition that we saw just a handful of seconds earlier. So Cosmo Buster picking up yet another demo, which could have possibly led to that first goal.
It does seem, as you mentioned before, though, that Not Wing It is a great addition. We saw Pib playing yesterday, did a fantastic job. A lot more ball focus with King and Mango, so seeing Not Wing It out there, consistently interacting where he needs to. It seems like he'd be the best choice to keep on offense, maybe rotate to defense every so often, but we've seen just how well King can do on defense for UNLV, so it might not be a bad idea to keep him a little farther back, maintain the boost, ensure he's always ready to go, and defend that goal so that BSU doesn't get another shot on them.
And what we're seeing, I mean, again, this primarily been played on the UNLV side. Another cross shot, JJ Sky gonna sneak it through, picking up yet another one. Assist there by Acero. And at this point, Boise State is just, look, this shot is such a weird angle, and once again, unfortunately, King was there just a half second too late, maybe even running out of boost. I'm not entirely sure as I couldn't see the gauge there.
A little too high in the air.
Right, so unfortunately, 2-0, Boise State still running away with this here in game number 4. And again, it's not a matter of UNLV not playing well. It's just Boise State is on a tier that it cannot be touched right now. Great movement here is going to spell an attempt at least, but Acero is there to stop that. And it looks like Boise State going to follow up as well. 2 of them on there. It looks like JJ Sky and Acero, but a great turnaround there from Mango. Will pop it off the wall, but now Boise State on that quick counterattack quickly is going to have to turn around as 2 members of UNLV. Setting up an aerial shot is good. It's going to land, Not Wing It, picking up the first one for UNLV here in game number 4.
And you'll notice almost every member of UNLV participated in that goal. So great teamwork on their end. Yeah, JJ Sky almost able to push that out, but he was a little too far in the goal. So UNLV has proven that the teamwork, the communication, and maybe the rotation is working for them against Boise State. They need to keep it up at this point.
And that was a great shot, and they took their time with that one too. If you notice, they weren't going as fast as they normally were, took their time, kind of made sure the ball was in the perfect position, and delivered a perfect shot. There were 2 defenders for Boise State, and it snuck past both of them. By snuck, I mean, it's like a rifle shot. It was great once they actually made the connection. BSU, Cosmo Buster,
rode that thing all the way home.
Just showing no signs of slowing down whatsoever. Absolutely disrespectful here as he, wow.
Yep, the setup into, I mean, the shot on goal into the goal. What a phenomenal play by Cosmo Buster. And keep an eye on Cosmo Buster on the walls. You'll notice that he has been playing up on the walls, up high, a little bit above the rest of the team so that he can engage when he needs to and be on the field where he needs to at the right time with full boost.
And that's the other thing too, is that right now Boise State University is just, there's always somebody in the play field, and then there's always a response to it, whether it's offensively, defensively. They're doing a really good job of having multiple men in multiple places, like you were saying, but the counterattacks are so unbelievably quick. Here could possibly be another shot on goal going to be stopped by King, but for as much as we've spent time on Boise State's side, it's instantly returned, if not scored on, for Boise State. So it's an unfortunate thing to see, because how do you respond to that?
Right, well, and it seems like UNLV is doing a relatively good job of lining the ball up for the shot on goal, but they don't have anyone actually prepared to make that shot. So if somebody were to be set up, maybe held back, slightly more defensive or full-on boost, ready to go in to ensure that they can close it out, they will get a lot of assistance playing that way. So that's game 4 now, Boise State's favor. We have 4 more games here, so we're halfway through. UNLV does have the chance to show us up. We want to see some amazing play. We
Absolutely.
saw some great plays from Not Wing It. Good to see him on the seat now, and good to see Pib. So having multiple players in a club that's not an actual varsity team, that's always great. Being able to rotate people out based on how the opponent is playing, very helpful for UNLV. Maybe we might see it in some of their other games as well.
And this is the point in the game at which we have 4 more matches, about a halfway point, if you will. If you're here for UNLV, I want to hear you make some noise. They need your Spirit Bomb energy. Go ahead.
Yeah, there we go.
And if you're here for the orange and blue, make some noise. I have always wanted to do that throughout the entirety of my career. So here we are at game number 5. Everybody's having a good time and a great redirect. JJ Sky putting the first points on the board here in game number 5.
Acero picking up the assist on that one. We had an attempted block. Mango was ready to defend, but boosted in and jumped up just a little too late. At least we are seeing the solid defense from UNLV now. Mango was set up in a position to defend that, and you know,
lost the 50-50,
exactly.
yeah.
The more strategy that we can see from them, the better it's working out, as opposed to just kind of running around the field in an attempt to hit something.
Oh, and a great cross shot is going to sneak by Acero. King putting points and equalizing game number 5.
There we go. Less than a minute into this game, we've already got one goal from both of the teams. Yeah, Acero jumping up to try to defend that, unable. I think that's the first time I've said Acero and unable in the same sentence. We have seen ridiculous plays coming from him. We've got Cosmo Buster getting the hit on that face-off on UNLV's side, but King doing a great job of preventing the ball from staying near his goal. There we go, another tip back. UNLV not winged is gonna push it, and King is gonna bring it to the other side, but is somebody ready for the setup? There we go. That's what we were talking about, bringing it around and at least lining it up. Oh my goodness, so close. King almost made a second shot in. Lots more airplay that we're seeing from them and a little bit more defense. That's what we like to see. We don't want to see UNLV grouped up the way that we have in the past couple of games and yesterday when they were not succeeding. The couple of games they've done incredibly well, they've been splitting up, and we see them kind of group again, and the ball's in their side of the court. Shot on goal there. JJ Sky tries to hit it in. Cosmo Buster bumps it up, and Not Winged gets the save on that one, though. JJ Sky's going to tip it back down and just ride those walls to keep it at least towards UNLV's goal.
Cosmo Buster with the cross. Will it set it up? Unfortunately, gives it right over to UNLV, who will start to run it down center. But it looks like we're going to be stopped here for a little bit. A nice shot here is going to be too far up in the air and unfortunately bouncing back, but a nice possible setup here from UNLV is going to be quickly returned by Boise State University. Aerial shot here from Cosmo Buster, just wide of the goal. And great redirect here from Boise State. It's going to be way too high, but it will be a nice opportunity for them to reset, collect some boost, and come back for this attempt right here. JJ Sky trying to tip it in. Looks like Acero there trying to squeeze on by. Cosmo Buster with the redirect. Yeah. However, Mango being the savior there.
Oh, Mango was the savior there. I thought I saw King. That's great. So we are seeing more of UNLV facing away from their own goal, ready to set up the shot towards the enemy line.
Just like this, a breakaway goal does go for UNLV. King finding another one.
That was phenomenal, and great assists there from Not Winged. We are seeing some excellent movement, better rotation now. That's how UNLV needs to play. We have them in the lead in this match. It's 1-2, about 2 minutes in. We have 250, and this is game number 5 out of 8. So let's see more of that from UNLV. I want to see more of the rotation, more of the movement, and more of the solid defense. That last round, they had incredible defense, so many great shots on goal against them, and they had very many saves as well.
Absolutely, and then we're able to turn it very quickly, as we had seen BSU do more times than I would almost care to count at this point because there's so many. Another attempt there from Boise State will be stopped by King as he pops it up. And now a counterattack for UNLV, who are currently ahead 2-1 with 2:22 left, and not going to find what they were looking for on this pressure attempt, but instead Boise State now driving it home as King will push that out and be the saving grace.
And we saw Mango turned around, setting himself up for a potential shot, and the defense, that's exactly what we were talking about. So we were seeing just what we need to from UNLV. They're doing a great job of adapting quickly to Boise State's play style, especially with the new player, Not Winged, on their team.
But Boise State University just pedaled to the metal right now. They get a ball, they have it for a handful of seconds, and will end up putting probably 4 or 5 shots on goal in that time. A great return there from UNLV and a demo to follow. Mango wants to make sure this ball is going in, but instead will be kicked back out towards UNLV's goal. And that's wide open. It looks like it's going to be an absolute staunch there. Cosmo Buster picking up yet another one.
Yeah, it looked like King tipped that down, trying to send it back around the goal, and it actually lined Cosmo Buster up perfectly for that. He didn't realize he had enough boost to hit the ball before it passed the goal. So great moves from Cosmo Buster there that we were seeing. He was the entire part of that aside from King. So let's see them turn this around, get somebody on that hard defense.
Oh, that was a really crafty play. JJ Sky picked it up by himself, was looking to set it up, and then we had Acero in the wings also waiting just in case the first attempt was not good. Fortunately, does not spell for any success. However, another bit of pressure here from Boise State. Shot will go wide right.
And UNLV needs to not only have that person set up for the shot, but know when to go in. It seems like they are going for the ball a little too early every single time. If they just waited to ensure that it was a proper shot on goal, as opposed to expecting to make it into a shot, then they would get a lot more actual hits towards the enemy's goal. Some great stops there by UNLV, so the defense is definitely showing itself, but we need to see that offense as well so they can get the upper hand on Boise State.
JJ Sky loves this positioning, but it looks like Cosmo Buster going to be the initial shot taker there. It is too high up and will bounce back towards neutral ground. JJ Sky accidentally pops it towards his own goal. Acero is there to make the quick stop and passes by JJ Sky. 30 seconds remain here in this tie game. We could be seeing our first piece of overtime, in which it will be golden goal. A shot on net, though, is not going to connect. Instead, hits the post. It bounces back out, and now headed towards Boise State's goal. Instead, going to be quite a bit high, and in the corner now, it looks like King trying to just get something going here. He's got 10 seconds to do so. A great shot in the general direction, but the response there from Cosmo Buster is exactly what they're looking for. A great shot towards the center of the net, however, is going to go wide left. A handful of seconds remain. It looks like we could be going to extra time, but the ball is still aerial. Yes, we are going to golden goal now here in game number 5.
Great to see from UNLV. We didn't actually see overtime until the second to last game yesterday. So the fact we're only halfway through now, and they are putting 2 points on the board, preventing Boise State from taking the gold on this one, keeping it on their side and lining themselves up for those shots. Oh, almost made a shot there. JJ Sky. It looked like Acero is going to pop it back, though, and BSU's side is slightly vulnerable. But JJ Sky is going to make sure that nothing scary happens for their team. We need to see that defense lined up and ready to go from UNLV, not just scrambling at the end to maybe make some defense.
Right, and Boise State is doing a phenomenal job of playing the lower end of the walls, as well as the aerial play that we had mentioned before. We've seen multiple times JJ Sky stop a ball that is in this general position right here and then carry it all the way. Same with Cosmo Buster. They're just doing a great job of responding on the defensive, and we'll see JJ Sky here easily stop that, pushes it out. However, there's a good response there from King, and it almost went in. That would have been the first victory for UNLV, but unfortunately the enemy is the crossbar, and now Mango trying to put it in neutral ground. Boise State making a move here. A awesome steal here from UNLV. It's too high, though. I thought that might have had a little bit of an arc to it. It does look like Boise State now on the attack. Riding up the wall would be Acero, and he's trying to cross here. It's in the center. Will Boise State get a shot? They do. JJ Sky, though, is stopped immediately there from Not Winged. It looks like Cosmo Buster trying to get this bounce pass off the wall. Another redirect is going to put the ball back in neutral ground now. Boise State has to go on the defensive. A great shot there is going to be pushed wide by Cosmo Buster. And another attempt here from UNLV. Aerial shot is up, but Mango unfortunately directs it way too high and is unable to capitalize.
Yeah, some great defense that we were seeing from UNLV. This is just what they need for how intense and ferocious the offense is for Boise State. Get some shots towards the goal, just a bit high of UNLV's goalpost there. And we're bouncing it back towards Boise State's side, but UNLV is not quite lined up to push that farther towards the goal. A little bit clumped here. We've got King trying to set himself up for some defense, which is always great to see. Great aerial shot down there by King, getting it at least to Boise State's side. Not Winged trying to set up for a shot, and just a little low. JJ Sky preventing that from happening.
That was a great move there from JJ. One of the things we're seeing is the aggression is out. Both of these teams are hungry for this final goal. Oh, and a great demolition there from Not Winged is going to take out Cosmo Buster. Handful of seconds before he'll be back, but the aggression is on the side of UNLV. Cross shot there is going to be denied by Not Winged, who has just respawned. And yeah, Boise State is looking for something here. They could find it, but fortunately going to be returned to their side. Now they're on the defensive. It's just as I say that, Acero pops it back out.
This is incredible defense that we're seeing from UNLV. Not Winged in particular, having control of the ball and then also being in the position to defend. It's been spending a lot of time. Wow, it was a very close shot, almost Cosmo Buster. Almost had that in. But yeah, UNLV, this hard defense is working very, very well. And when they get it over to Boise State's side, they just need to line up the shots, and they could potentially have these next couple of games if they consistently keep up. There's another demolition there by King. Consistently keep up this defense.
You know, it looks like now Boise State on the attack, and that ball actually goes under Mango for the first time. Fortunately, going to be stopped there. Boise State did have a little bit of a breakaway opportunity. Acero now going to try to get the aerial volley going. Cosmo Buster going to redirect this back towards net, and that was a great shot there. It fell right in front of the goal. If somebody from Boise State would have been on the ground, that would have been a golden opportunity to close out game number 5. A shot on goal is going to be stopped by Mango, however. JJ Sky getting aerial, pushing it too far to the right. Unfortunately, will pick up the fatty boost there, and that will help him get on the other side to stop this attack from UNLV.
Almost 4 minutes now into overtime.
Cross.
Great play from both of these teams. I would say we've got Not Wing It as the new player as of today, doing a phenomenal job for UNLV, keeping the communication up, letting the team know when to rotate that ball. Shot, just almost missing, or just barely missing. King's gonna try to get it to turn back around towards BSU's goal. We've got 4 minutes, 20 seconds here on this game. I don't know how long it's gonna take until somebody makes a goal. There's such good defense on both teams.
As long as it takes, as they say in some place that I've never been to before. You're absolutely correct. Both of these teams now absolutely looking beautiful. Wherever this UNLV team has been the entire time, this is what we need to see more of. They have gotten more shots on goal in this overtime than I think they have all 5 of these games. A great little pop there from Acero is going to get it out of the danger zone. And now we're headed over towards the end of UNLV. They tried to redirect it, and that was very, very dangerous. Almost an own goal there, but it will be under control from King. Great little bicycle kick wrap around. And it looks like UNLV now is on the attack. This is the most time they've ever had. No, it looks like it's going to squeeze by, and it stops right at the win, but King is going to push it in and finish it up, bringing home game number 5 for UNLV.
Great game there. That was fantastic play. It looks like the defense game is working very, very well for UNLV. So long as they can keep Boise State away from their goal, looks like they're able to finally squeeze in that final shot. So if we can see that from them the next couple of games, it will ensure that during the tournament, they're not going to be just overthrown by Boise State. So that was game 5. Game 5 now. That is in favor of UNLV. We have first four for BSU. Let's see if UNLV can take the secondary 4.
As we were talking to Jump earlier, he asked for our number predictions. So I do need UNLV to win one more so I can be right, which is the most important thing here.
Yeah.
So, but it's great because, like you said, Not Wing It, a great addition to this UNLV lineup. Definitely making plays. And UNLV looks even more alive than they did yesterday. But that being said, whatever Boise State worked on last night into today is working out really well for them. They're able to put on, multipliers of aggression as far as these games are concerned, and you can see it in the scoreboard as well as the stats, where King has about 5 goals at this point in time. That's like the total of game number 1 for Boise State. I've actually almost lost count at this point in time.
It was 7 or 8, actually.
It's ridiculous at this point. So Boise State now moving into game number 6, 4-1 in game totals. We are here making sure that both of these teams get the necessary time coming into tomorrow's final games, the best of series.
Great setup by King, and almost Acero able to block that one out. Again, he's everywhere all the time. Such a great player on Octane. We are seeing King, though, getting some great ball handling here. And if he's able to at least push it and set it up, Mango, it seems, has been making some pretty good shots. So lining it up for Mango to be able to get that towards the goal will be very helpful for UNLV. King, again, redirecting and dribbling it towards the goal. Just shy of it, though. He does push it a little bit right, able to pick up some boost and maybe prepare himself for another shot.
It looks like Boise State was a little bit discombobulated is the word I'll use, because there was nobody there in goal, and had King redirected it in a little bit sharper of a direction as far as the angle, it probably would have gone in without any fuss. But unfortunately, a little bit wide, and now Boise State on the attack. A great little turnaround there from Not Wing It. He's trying to break away, but JJ Sky will stop him in the air, and Boise State now on their heels as Cosmo Buster, again, a single tap clear will put that in the corner that Boise State seems to favor, that right-hand side corner. They're really good about popping it off, not only the the right side wall and that goal side wall, but responding to what happens after that, so that third step of the process.
Yes, and lots of solid boosts used by UNLV now. It doesn't seem like they're wasting the boost to reposition themselves and then go for a potential shot as opposed to, a guaranteed shot.
Right.
Not Wing It getting a great shot, and he makes it in. Fantastic shot there. Acero unable to do anything about that, even though he was in the goal. Oh, JJ Sky, it was in the goal area. Oh, it was Acero as well. They had 2
really sharp angles.
Getting it past 2. Fantastic. 1 shot, 1 goal there puts UNLV on the board first. We have 3 minutes, 20 seconds left in game number 6. Like I was saying, if UNLV can keep up this defense game and they keep 1 offending player, it's working out really, really well for them. Boise State can only be in the right place at the right time so many times. Great shot there. Great block by Not Wing It.
Acero now going to make sure this ball is stopped. He does do so. It puts it off to the right-hand side. Again, the favorable for Boise State University. 3 minutes left. A nice aerial shot is going to be a little high with the help of JJ Sky. Going to be put in that left-hand side corner in blue, but UNLV showing signs of aggression here, which is something that we haven't seen a whole lot of. Just sneaks it by the goal, unfortunately. Acero able to get a little tap on there. Trying to stop it is not wing it. A nice little pass there is going to set up Cosmo Buster, who will be able to redirect this. Will it be another shot attempt? That looks good, but it's going to go wide. I think Cosmo Buster on the second attempt actually pushed it away.
Mango did a great job actually there. Skimmed it just as it was going past the goal, pushing it to the side. So yeah, great play from everyone and a fantastic block there by King. The defense game is so on point right now for UNLV, and they're finding it better than offense. Almost shot there, doing a great job not winging it in the goal, trying to keep it as close as possible. Acero is on defense now, and we see him getting a great aerial shot, as we do consistently, getting the boost at the perfect time. Cosmo Buster trying to make a move, but shoots it over a little bit, not winging it, attempting to redirect, but getting it in front of the goal. But Mango's going to do his job to push it as far away as possible from their side.
And another quick turnaround here from Boise State University will put aggression onto UNLV's goal. But just as I say that, we're going back and forth, ping pong all the way. It looks like Cosmo Buster will come out the favorable individual. Another attempt here, and a great shot from from Acero. That's assist by Cosmo Buster. And as you see, Acero gets right up here. Look at this angle right now. JJ Sky was in the wings just in case it fell, and the chants are coming out. We are getting hype here at the esports showdown here at UNLV. It's going to be a first touch again for UNLV. If they do have one thing going for them, it's that they are always the first on the ball each and every round, although that may not necessarily be favorable, as it's putting them in pretty open positions for Boise State to take advantage of.
Yeah, they are forcing Boise State to use out their boost, though, in more defensive manners, as opposed to earlier on in the first 4 games, we were seeing Boise State almost every single shot was an offensive boost. So now they are putting them on their toes, forcing them to navigate around the field, forcing them to run back to their own side, pick up a boost or two before they re-engage, and it's working very well for UNLV.
We find ourselves in neutral ground here. 1-1 is the score here in game number 6. 1 minute remains, and we may find ourselves the recipient of a second overtime. We will see what happens as King starts to dribble, but is immediately stopped from Boise State. Nice little aerial play. A setup for King is not going to find its intended target. So now Boise State will have an opportunity, yes, to clear this out with relative ease. Nice follow-up there from JJ Sky.
This is very, very promising for tomorrow's games with UNLV. I am really liking not winging to the addition here, but we're seeing better gameplay as well from both Mango and King. And the fact that they're finding this defensive play, they've been adjusting their play style, and this defensive play style is working extremely well. They know that they can stick with it. They had a few trial and error styles, I suppose, and none of them worked against Boise State. But forcing Boise State to use out their boosts and navigate the field a lot more than they were having to before is it could prove pivotal for UNLV during the actual tournament.
Absolutely. 5 more seconds remain. It looks like we could be going into overtime. The ball is still aerial, is going to be pushed down, but a little bump will send us into golden goal scenario. So the next one wins game number 6. And UNLV, 2 back-to-back showings that they can, in fact, make these games, even if not take the lead, as they won the last one. Now maybe they've turned it on. Are they starting to warm up, maybe even catch fire? And now Boise State looking to put that pressure on, is going to cross, but not wing it, getting another demo there. Great clear there from Mango as well, as this ball takes a little bit of a stall here in the right corner.
And we did see the last overtime go for quite a few minutes. So, and there we go. I knew it was going to be a shorter one. JJ Sky pushing that one in. UNLV trying to keep up the defense, but there was not enough mobility for them actually to push the ball away. They were all where they needed to be, but they couldn't actually get to hit the ball in the opposite direction.
And Boise State did a great job on that attack. 3 separate individuals that got a touch on it and a shot on goal at the same time. That started with an aerial play that was spiked down, didn't quite hit. You saw JJ follow it up, and they are rewarded. So great move there from Boise State University to close out this game.
Yes, and the teamwork that we are seeing work for Boise State is now working for UNLV. Yes, they are behind. That was game number 6 in Boise State's favor, but we have UNLV on the board. They've won their first game. That's 2 games of overtime. Amazing defense, solid offense. We just need to see the communication and the teamwork maintain itself within their gameplay, and it can prove to lead them to victory in tournaments. or even in the next couple of games we have.
And then speaking of, game number 7 is underway. We are off as pressure once again here on the UNLV goal. Going to be in that right corner like we were talking about. It looks like Acero trying to set this up. JJ Sky coming in like a rocket man is going to instead be denied by the wall. JJ Sky looking to try to make his name known here during game number 7. Very aggressive start there. And instead, it looks like Boise State again just playing with their food. A little bit of a bounce over the head. Acero picks up point number 1.
Yeah, less than 30 seconds down into the first game, Boise State, we've seen incredible aggression from the start. Acero with those amazing aerial shots and directing his vehicle exactly where it needs to be. UNLV having some good aerial shots, but they need to know when to boost in the air and when to actually dodge with their vehicle, flip it around, do the double jumps. So we're seeing it a lot from BSU, but UNLV just proving that they can take the play style that is working against them and use it as well. JJ Sky getting the demolition on Mango there, at least knocking out one of the players to potentially make an offensive move.
And he's just respawned at this point, so gave Boise State a couple of seconds to regroup and reset for this oncoming onslaught of attacks. Not Winged going to return that, however, for UNLV.
Yeah, lots of play on both sides of the field. Last time we were seeing UNLV forced to play defensively, not doing a very successful job with that. And now there is consistent movement, rotation from them. We see Mango just sitting in the goal a lot of the times, whereas we've got Not Winged and King on the offense there. So I'm really liking the play style now that has been adjusted for UNLV.
Well, and this is the other thing, too, is that if you're putting players in stagnant positions, unfortunately, that sets you at a disadvantage where we see Boise State, where everybody is doing everything, up to and including saving the ball from going back on their side of the field. A great move there from JJ Sky. Cosmo Buster, unfortunately, has it go over his head. But yeah, Boise State has done a phenomenal job of just having everybody involved. Like that right there, Acero with the stop. And also had some help as well, just in case he was not able to do it. However, that was a scorching shot from UNLV, so I'm not sure the second person there would have helped stop that. A good move there from UNLV. Boise State, though, great save. As we set up, Cosmo Buster tries to push it out, but instead is just going to recenter this ball as JJ Sky is going to push it to the left. Centering it again is JJ, but another shot on goal is stopped by Mango.
Great save. There's 2 in a row there from Mango. Fantastic defense that we're seeing from him. King is going to be able to push it a little towards Boise State's side, and we have it heading towards BSU's goal, but JJ Sky is ready to pitch that back. Lots of good ball movement that we've seen, lots of great long shots, long pops. We're not seeing as much dribbling, and if we do, it's from UNLV, who's been doing a great job of dribbling it across, but then not really able to capitalize and close it out.
Yeah, great move there from Cosmo Buster. Will give him sort of a breakaway. It's going in, it's good. Boise State up 2-0 with 2:24 remaining. That was a smooth move as he comes by. That's mine. And a second tap right here. Boop. Will make sure his team is feeling good. 2-0, like I said, and Cosmo Buster is just stacking the points. Easily the #1 goal scorer this time around for Boise State University.
Yeah, great pops and lobs coming all over the place. Again, UNLV winning that 50-50, getting the first hit at least towards Boise State's side. Oh, almost a shot there. Not Winged, but it looks like Cosmo Buster refuses to let him actually hit that ball towards the goal. UNLV now keeping the ball on Boise State's side. We've got JJ Sky in the wings so that he can block anything that comes near that goalpost. Didn't quite go exactly where UNLV wanted it to, but they are definitely improving on setting it up and then having somebody there to close it out.
What a great spike there from King is going to be denied once again by Cosmo Buster. It was an aerial spike that looked to drop just short of the goal. It looked like it was going in, but unfortunately, there we go. King finds the opening and does it, man. It gives himself yet another goal here.
We'll see Mango try to get the shot on goal here, and doesn't matter. King was able to rebound that. So great team play, fantastic communication that we're seeing. They're ensuring the ball needs to go, or ball will go where it needs to.
Well, and it looked like a little bit of a misplay there from Boise State as both individuals were actually falling, which you fall slower than, you move unless you're forcing yourself down. And they had both committed to that initial play. They thought the shot was coming from where it had originated before, but instead a nice redirect there from King sends it in a direction where not only were there no players, but there was absolutely no way for them to pick that up. And another demolition for JJ Sky. This is a lot more aggressive than Boise State was last time. They were the ones being destroyed in this game as far as the cars were concerned, even though the scoreboard didn't really show that. But now showing that they can as well cause some chaos.
Well, I think that shows a lot on how UNLV is playing. So King was getting most of the demolitions last time because he was behind Boise State. Boise State was in the right positioning. They weren't really in the area to demo someone because nobody was in front of them. And now that UNLV is actually playing very well, playing on the ball and keeping one person near it at all times, Boise State has the chance to demolition somebody while UNLV might have control or be attempting to gain control. So that's actually a great sign that we are seeing more demos from the opposite side. That means that both teams are doing an amazing job.
And more pressure here on the UNLV goal is going to be stopped there relatively from Mango. As the rest of Boise State, great move and an awesome clear there for Boise State University. 30 seconds remaining here, 2-1 the score. UNLV has shown that they can tie these games and bring it into extra minutes, as well as put up quite a fight. Another clear there for Boise State from JJ Sky will put it in favorable position for Boise State. Not going to be able to find the goal on that attempt, but we'll find a second rebound here as Acero unable to capitalize. But another demolition in the pass back. Watch what happens here, because Cosmo Buster, I don't believe, actually took this shot. Okay, so he sets this up. Now watch this demolition right here. King was there. Wow. He could have stopped that, but instead, Boise State takes him out of the competition for a few seconds, and it's just what they needed to put another one and the nail in the coffin for Boise State.
That was amazing. Again, proving that the demolitions just mean you are preventing the other team from getting the ball or preventing the ball from going into your goal. So there was a phenomenal demo there. I believe it was JJ.
Oh, one more for good points. There you go, JJ, as we are speaking about him.
Cosmo Buster getting the assist on that one, just ensuring with 0 seconds left on the clock that they are going to close out that game there. 4-1, game number 7. We have one more game for UNLV to show its prowess. We've been shown time and time now for these past couple of games that UNLV is adapting extremely quickly to Boise State's play style, and they have the chance to get the upper hand. They're forcing BSU to use demolitions, which we didn't see before, as you'd mentioned, forcing them to change up their play style a little bit and be a little more defensive, because when we saw Boise State on the offense, they were unstoppable.
And that was the big point, points actually is what I'm getting at. Boise State, as far as the collective of these 7 games, is just putting up an insurmountable amount of goals, and it's being done relatively quickly. Even though the pressure has been on a majority side of UNLV, Boise State only needs to touch it once, and they've shown they can get the long ball into the back of the net, as well as those very intricate rush plays as well. So whether it's the 3 individuals, the 1 individuals, each person of Boise State is playing a super solid game. And we are seeing UNLV show moments of shining, but just that, moments.
Yeah, and it is turning into games of shining. Right. So we will see more of that counterplay from UNLV, very likely here in this last game for today. Game number 8, 6 in favor of Boise State. 1 for UNLV, though. We do have them on the board, which is great to see because Boise State was undefeated yesterday.
Yeah, it definitely helps. It's a nice little morale boost to not get completely skunked out the second day. Like you mentioned, Boise State going 8-0 today. But here in game number 5, 30 seconds in, does look like a relatively even match here in the final bout of this series.
Lots of great play from Acero, as always. Seems to be in the right place at the right time. But King making some fantastic aerial plays in response to those plays by Acero.
Another more pressure here. A nice cross is going to go in an awkward direction. JJ Sky accidentally pushing that in an area he did not intend to. And recenter there is going to let JJ take another shot at the goal, denied by King, however. And that's what we were talking about, Jolly, is that these individuals are capable of just being everywhere. Another attempt by JJ Sky is going to be stopped by Mango. They're able to put shots on goals from any direction, any area, and when they do, it's usually right in the area of a goal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's very interesting to see the difference, because when UNLV works with their aerials, it's very far off.
Boise State is ensuring that when they hit it, when they're expending their boost to go for the ball, it's not a potential hit. They know they're at least going to get it in the direction that they want to, if not a shot on goal, if not an actual goal. So expending their utility, but properly, and ensuring that they're never completely out and using it at the right times, never losing any boost or losing placement on the field, just to potentially hit the ball.
Absolutely, and it looks like another skirmish here in the mid area is going to put Boise State on the defensive, but just as I mentioned it, they are now moving forward with Cosmo Buster on the left-hand side. It looks like a nice return there, not winged, setting up on the defensive. little bit of a wall play there, but JJ is more than okay with that, and he's just disrespectful, taking on 3 individuals by himself. But it looks like more neutral airtime is going to be in favor of Boise State University as they are continuing the attack. And yeah, 240 is what remains here. JJ Sky looking to make something happen, but instead will chase this ball down with Cosmo Buster as it is wide left. Mango trying to put a point on the board here. We are at 0-0. 2:28 remains. JJ Sky in the defensive position will now try to dribble this up, I'm sure, taking it up the wall, but a little bit of a weird pop there. He's going to put it right in the danger zone of his own goal. Thank goodness for his ally, Cosmo Buster, who was able to jump out of there and make sure everything is defensively taken care of.
Yeah, King doing a great job of keeping the ball on Boise State's side. Boise State, of course, always able to shove it back with one good hit. UNLV is capitalizing quite quickly, but we are bundling, grouping up a little bit more than we should be from them. They might be getting a little anxious now that we're in the last game. 0-0 on the clock, 1:50 left. Mango, very, very good defensive shots, defensive saves. We've got a King savior by Mango there.
It looks like, yeah, Boise State just unrelenting in the pressure that they have had all series long. And this game in particular looking even more fierce than they have throughout the rest of the games. This ball has been pretty much on the side of UNLV, with Boise State just popping off in any direction, whether it's aerial, whether it's on the sharp angles, the difficult shots, or the amazing pass plays. They've been able to just keep it in UNLV territory. Another great aerial response means Cosmo Buster puts the first point on the board there. A very crafty shot here.
I said to watch Cosmo Buster on these walls because we've seen time and time again the jumps off the wall, the perfect rotation, the perfect dodges so that he hits the ball in the correct direction, because I had also mentioned the flatness of the vehicle that he is running on, the dominus, makes it so that if you're not angled correctly, the ball's not going to go where you want it to.
Another shot on goal, Cosmo Buster.
Way, Cosmo Buster making that as well. Acero getting the assist on it. Ensures that Boise State is not going to fall behind here at the last minute 12 of this game.
And he is just absolutely spot on with those redirects. What it appears to be just a defensive tactic is either A, a lucky bounce, or B, just being that good, as they are always on goal, if not a little high, directly in. So a great move there from Boise State. Once again, setting up. Acero looking to make a play here, but instead is going to be stopped by UNLV, who is now on the attack. 1 minute remains, 60 seconds here in the final game of the day. And it looks like another point on the board. Absolutely. Wow. Cosmo Buster gets the hat trick this time around. 3 goals, you get the little bunny ears, you get to call it a day, maybe buy yourself an ice cream if you're feeling like it.
3 in a row, and we're seeing Cosmo Buster on a new vehicle that we did not see him on yesterday, just decimating with it. So it's working out very well having the versatility and the variety of vehicles that they have on Boise State side. Octane is always a solid choice, and we did see them do an amazing job with 2 yesterday. But the fact that Cosmo Buster is able to jump around and play each vehicle as they are needed to be played is quite incredible. It's a great, great player, and probably my MVP for this lineup tonight.
Absolutely, and Acero now going to try to carry it up the wall. It's doing a very good job, but gets stopped there by King, I believe. 30 seconds remain. 3 goals is a very large deficit to try to cover in only 20 seconds. I have seen worse, though. Acero now trying to make a defensive play there. A little bit aggressive, is not going to be able to stop it. And well, a little bit of a misrun there from Not Winged. That probably spells defeat there. Final game for Boise State and UNLV as the countdown of the final 10 seconds goes. Yes, this does appear. Boise State, once again, very dominant, shuts down UNLV in the final game of today as the ball finally touches. Another big, massive win for Boise State University. They are just so pleased with themselves, you can tell. Smiles aplenty, there's something to winning, there's something to completely demolishing your opponent, and then there's another piece of ego that goes when, like I said, they were spot on. Each move there was perfect.
But there was an aspect of UNLV did actually get themselves a game off. You predicted that one correctly. You did say that they would take one. So, you got that one in your books, but you're right. That was still a dominant showing by Boise State. Now, there is going to be, obviously, the championship for that tomorrow. So, hopefully, between now and then, UNLV has some extra tape to be able to review and some extra footage to hopefully download coming into tomorrow.
Much improvement, though.
There is indeed. With that, what do you feel that UNLV brought to the table today that they more necessarily lacking in yesterday?
So we were kind of talking about while they were playing the rotations that we saw, UNLV did a much better job of not grouping themselves up, which was extremely detrimental to them. The communication did seem to be a lot more prevalent during these games. Not Winged, however, being on the team as well. MVP for UNLV for sure, not showing up yesterday and then showing up today and being able to assist King and Mango in the shots that they were able to make. Great defense. They found out that the defensive play was all they needed to make offensive plays.
And it wasn't all UNLV and it wasn't all Boise State. We can take a look at what happened today. UNLV came out the gate swinging a 4-0 sweep in the Overwatch segment, and then now with Rocket League, they do take a game off, but of course, Boise State still winning that 7-1. It is going to be a jam-packed setup tomorrow. We've got all 3 games. We've got Overwatch, we've got League of Legends, we've got Rocket League. I know you guys are excited, am I right?
Oh my goodness, man. Let's go.
It is going to be something to feast your eyes on. And not only that, but we're changing locations. We are in the Thomas and Mack Center right now. Obviously, we're right next to the basketball court. Well, we're going to be on the other side of the Thomas and Mack Center, still next to the basketball court, but we're going to be inside the Cox Pavilion. So if you're hanging around here before the men's championship tomorrow, make sure that you stop by the Cox Pavilion tomorrow morning before that game starts. The broadcast, we are going to start at 9 a.m. sharp, so make sure that you've got those browsers tuned in, you wake up early, you get your breakfast, and you're ready to go, because when we come back tomorrow, it's going to be UNLV, it's going to be Boise State, it's going to be the best of 3, and just like that, it's going to be fantastic for the Mountain West Esports Showdown. My name has been Jump with Lisa and Adam. We had Mike as well as Seamoose earlier on today. We're going to be seeing all of us tomorrow, and we will see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp. Have a good night.
There is nothing that they can do to protect a king and his fool. Caught in the fire, watch it burn. Ash to ash, now it's all.